Yeah, we are all up in it without an intro, no video, no. We're not even going to warm up to it. We're not even going to grease the skids. We're going right in, hard, heavy, fast. Can I say all of that on YouTube anymore? I don't know if I can. Anyway, what is up? How's it? Welcome back to me. As soon as baby daddy gets here, Ryan, it'll be welcome back to him. And welcome back to our program, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mike Hers. And I wish I could play the applause that StreamYard has in here, but I can't. But
No, it was a pleasure, man. I was just relaxing. It's a let's call it a bank holiday tomorrow for us Americans.
Yeah, right.
So I'm off tomorrow, and I never pass up an opportunity to podcast when I can. So, the invitation came in at yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Here I am, man. I can pretty much chat Arsenal with anybody. That's just, my main thing, so to say, outside of work and family. So, and what a season we've had thus far, Tanner, because there's some ups and downs. I think we're really kind of getting the vibes of what kind of fan are you, so to say, because there's the fan that deals with the setback very poorly. There's a fan that's set back with, everything. It's that meme of the dog like sipping on tea when in the house on fire.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's
fine.
Really fine. Yeah. So I like to believe I'm somewhere in between. I am my unwithering certainty of a league title is starting to wither a little bit in the last couple of weeks because it's difficult, man. We're in a dogfight. This whole concept on social media that people like to say, well, if Arsenal win it, it's the easiest league and ever, and they're the worst champions ever. I don't think that's how that works. Everybody, City is still City. They continue to win very consistently. Yes, they've had a few bad results, but I think the biggest gut punch, even for the most positive Arsenal supporters out there, was a win versus Liverpool. Everybody, I think, arrived to the common sense, rational way of looking at it and saying, okay, we knocked out the hard games in the first half of the season. City have not. We get to visit the likes of Brentford, so to say, right? 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go visit Liverpool. We're going to continue to win. They're going to start dropping points. It's going to be glorious. And the complete opposite happens.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, here we are dropping points versus Brentford, and City is pulling off an insane win in Anfield. An absolutely insane, full of crazy drama, full of stuff that I've never before seen on a football field. And it's just, so I think it's one of those things where like you kind of watch that game, watch that game, or like me, I don't hate watch much. I tend to just watch highlights. I see the highlights, I see how everything plays out, and I was like, fuck, this isn't supposed to happen. You're supposed to shit the bed here.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool at home, you're supposed to lose this one, dude. And they went against the script here, Tanner, and not liking that whatsoever, let me tell you.
As the kids like to say today, I didn't have that on my bingo card.
Didn't have it on my bingo card, yes.
Speaking of kids, there he is.
Or illegitimate child has arrived.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's up, buddy?
You're
still working on the beard.
I mean, when I get a haircut, I like clean it up. But
did you just wake up?
No.
Oh, sound like you just woke up. How are you, friend?
No.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good. I'm good.
Like,
how are you?
For everybody that's going to watch this back on replay, because nobody's watching right now, which is fantastic.
To be fair, Tanner, I'm desperately trying to join the chat, and I can't figure out how to. I can't log into my YouTube right now. So I mean, I'm trying to be
even better.
I'm trying to be there for you, bud. But
well, there's nobody else in there either, so you're all good. It doesn't matter. So for anybody watching back on replay right at the beginning, it's been a while since we've done this.
We're live.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, man. We weren't waiting for you to anyway. I don't want
4
to get
minutes
canceled on YouTube on our first show back in months. But
bro,
we're live. Anyway, it's been a while since we've done this, but fortunately I had some downtime, some free time this weekend, and there's just too much to talk about. And Ryan keeps begging me to do this so that he can talk.
Begging you.
Meanwhile,
True.
he
I'm
does
begging Mike
have
to come on his show, not
you-
begging you.
you do have all of the login. You could have just come on and done a show on your own.
Again, more proof why I'm not begging you. I beg Mike, and I'll admit to that on air. I beg Mike to go on his show. I don't beg you.
I started inviting Ryan onto my podcast, and I think he enjoyed it so much that he's like, you know what, I'm going to revive a completely different podcast so I can use it as an excuse and invite Mike on that one. So,
Return the favor.
I see you, Ryan. I see you, bro.
Yeah. Turnabout is always fair play there, boys. Anyway, so before we get into, so Mikey and I were just kind of rehashing the midweek, but we'll get there in depth in a minute. We'll handle today's business. As far as the actual result goes, my take on the result is simple: professional, comprehensive. It's what we should have done. I'm certainly not. We're back. Yeah, we're back. No, we did what we should have done. The performance does matter because there are things I want to talk about in there. But as far as the result goes, to me, it's exactly what we should have done. I'm pleased with it. I'm also pleased that we didn't embarrass them in the second half, which I think we'll come on to in a minute or so. But this could have very easily looked like an American football score. I mean, this could have been 10-0, 10-0, excuse me. And I think in the second half, we knew that we kind of pulled the handbrake up, settled down, just kind of dominated, kicked the ball around, had a good little kickabout. But this was done and dusted by the 35-minute mark. So, Ryan, did you get to watch? Did you watch a replay? I think were you at work this morning?
Yeah, I watched the first half. Well, no. I watched until it got to 4, and I spoiled myself like an idiot. And I texted.
Soiled yourself or spoiled yourself?
Both. Well, honestly, the way today was going,
Yes.
yeah, I did both. And I texted Mike, and I texted 2 other people, and I'm like, because I was like, I need to know in the next minute. So I need someone to answer me right now. And sorry, Ted, you were not one of the 3.
Some people's kids, man. Some people's kids.
What? Yeah, I texted and said it's 4-0 right now. And I know nothing. No goals going into this. Do I really need to watch the last hour of the game? And everyone said no. So yeah. Well, Mike didn't say no, but everyone said no.
I said in that quote, I don't know. I don't have ESPN. I didn't watch the game. I believe that's what I said.
Well,
all right.
ESPN
Deportes. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
had to.
I know.
I would never say that on your show, Mike. Let that be known. I just said it because it was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Great. So my show's our show, Ryan, is the racist show. You scumbag.
Not racist.
It's really that's a tagline, yeah, for sure.
yeah, right.
Big in California, isn't it?
Hey, watch us. We're racist.
No.
So, all right. So neither of you watched the second half. I'm going to now stir the pot. The second half, to me, is exactly what it's, how do I put this? It's what we want to do in the league, but in the league, we try to play with more urgency to score a goal. If that makes sense. We had possession. We gave up one really, really good chance. I mean, they had a really good chance. Kepa made a pretty good save in the second half. The second half, we just kicked the ball around and never really. Okay, we had some opportunities that were more born simply out of what I think is talent, not trying. If that makes sense, like we're that much better than them that it just happened. We weren't trying to really go in and score again. I think the second half was avoid embarrassing Wigan. But my point is that most everything I've watched in the league this year, when we get so frustrated, is what the second half of today was. We're just going to kick the ball around. But in the league, we do it, and there's just like against Brentford, no urgency to score. Like, just we'll get there when we do, and maybe we don't, and that's fine too. We're amenable to everything. But second half was I did watch, and I, barring the one really good chance that Wigan had, it was men against boys, and thankfully we didn't embarrass them. As I will sit here later and say, it's not our job to stop scoring goals. It's the other team's job to stop us from scoring goals. We stopped ourselves from scoring goals today because I think after a while it might have gotten a little boring. But the second half was just, don't embarrass them.
Can you kind of expand on that, Ryan? I mean, Tanner, because I can't think of an Arsenal supporter out there that would have not wanted to see more goals for the vibes. Like, I want my Manchester City Exeter City 8-0. I want an 8-0. I would like to see that.
I think when you're playing, this is, look, sure. Do you want to see more goal? Of course. I think in this situation, this is not, the talent gap here is so vast. If we really put the pedal to the metal, we're going to hang a dozen on you. And I think that there is, while the old adage is that rugby is the hooligan sport played by gentlemen, football is the gentleman sport played by hooligans. I think there is a respect among peers, if you will, that Arteta's saying, okay, I'm going to call off the dogs here. We've proven our point in the first half. If we, like here again, pedal to the metal, we're going to hang a dozen on you. And goal difference in this competition doesn't mean anything. If it meant something, then I think, yes, we continue. But in this case, there's no need to rub salt in an already gaping wound. And that's just my take on the second half. I could be totally wrong. I hope I'm not, because I know. I mean, I hope I'm not wrong, because if I'm wrong and we were trying, Wigan won the second half. Then they drew the second half, and if we were trying to score more, they stopped us.
Well, so I watched a little bit of the Wigan game. I watched highlights to refresh my memory on the Brentford game. One thing I found, it's undeniable, and it's funny, actually, it happened to Barcelona today. Barcelona was playing this super high line, even higher than Wigan were, and they got smashed by Atletico Madrid today, 4-0 in the King Cup. Wigan...
Wait, Barcelona did?
Barcelona got their ass beat by Atletico Madrid today.
I think in the broadcast, real quick, sorry. I think in the broadcast of the Arsenal match, I think they were talking about that. Yeah. I feel like they had it the other way.
No, I could
have sworn that dude said Barcelona smashed Madrid 4-0. Atletico Madrid 4-0.
Yeah. Anyway. No. They got beat up. One thing that stood out literally, and this is something that it's a contrast that we've been kind of pointing out, Champions League games versus league games, and it's something that people point out on Twitter, where the media likes to portray us as boring Arsenal, like we don't attack. But dude, undisputed, if you go watch like the last two league games, Wigan actually came to try to play a game of football towards us. They were open, they attacked, they had a pretty high line, and thus, because of that high line, surprise, those through balls that, like, Eza gets criticized for not making, Zubimendi gets criticized for not making, Odegaard gets criticized. There was space to make those passes, right? So all of a sudden we find ourselves making 2-3 goals. We're just like gaping space in the back, through balls with our runners. Midweek's fast. Gabriel Jesus knows where to place himself. And he managed, and there were like 3 goals came from that type of play. But if you like rewind just a little bit here, Ryan, you look at the Brentford game, they were at home and did not play it like that. And it's just that deep low block thing that we have to contend with for like forever in the league. It makes things difficult. I'm not justifying it. You're supposed to be able to overcome it, of course, but man, 2 very different games of football. I will say that. So I do kind of buy into your theory, Tanner, that maybe the team purposely tapered themselves back a little bit and say, hey, why continue making these runs? We're just going to add to our workload. So maybe maybe we say calma a little bit and, we just relax. But yeah, just two very different games of football. The league is becoming increasingly frustrating for me, as Ryan knows. I've been chatting with him for the last 3-4 weeks as I see our big lead dwindle in the league. So interesting, two very, very, very different games of football. I understand that tactically we did a lot of different things versus weekend, but I think it's one of those things where, because it's weekend, it's a lower league opposition, because we were already 4-0 up, it kind of allows us the possibility to like play around with that a little bit. So my buddy Chris used this statement today because we were going to see Miles Lewis Skelly finally in the midfield, and he said, I don't know, I'm sure this is a quote of somewhere. Chris is a very sharp, smart man. He said, necessity is the mother of invention. And that is essentially why Miles Lewis Skelly was playing in midfield, in my opinion. I don't think we're going to ever see him, just shooting my shot here, just assuming this. I don't think we're going to ever see him in midfield in the league. Like, shit has to have really hit the fan for us to see that. So I think this was the day he was going to play it. And this was the day that Calafiori once again, unfortunately, got injured. And he went right back to the left back, So all the hype of Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield went away super fast. Also, shout out to Kepa Arrizabalaga. 7 games, 7 wins, 7 clean sheets. I mean, we might be able to sell him for 120 million this summer, boys. That's all I'm saying.
From your lips to God's ears, amigo.
Let's go. Come on, Ryan. Let it go. Tell me why I'm wrong.
No, I think you guys were right. I think the only thing you guys really missed was, I think the reason why we took the foot off the gas was that it's like Connor with Tanner was saying, how goal differential doesn't matter. It's literally survive and advance. So like we just wanted to advance and to survive, and especially with the Calafiori pregame injury, we didn't want any more injuries. So I think it was kind of like, okay, like it's a training session. Let's not get hurt. Let's not pull anything. Let's not have any niggles or anything like that. Well, let's just advance out of this. I mean, we survived, minus Calafiori, but which I was mad because I was actually very
and Ben White
forward to. What?
And Ben White.
Did you hear it? I missed that. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
good. So
I don't think he's going to be here next season anyway. But
that is a fucking hot take right there. First,
that is a really hot take.
That was,
wait, really? You guys think he's going to be in the team next season?
Say that and just like you're like, anyways.
Yeah, I know, right? Like he comes in, drops the mic, and then is like, anyway, moving on. Whoa,
I don't think that's crazy.
We're starting 11 next year, so
we're gonna come. We're
anyways,
coming back to that one. In fact, I'm writing it down so that I don't forget. We're coming back to that.
I don't think.
Wow.
But okay.
Wow.
A little positive for Ben White, if you would like, is he didn't go down the tunnel or anything to seek any medical.
No, he did walk off under his own power, but Arteta said after the match, he was asked about Calafiori, and he said they would know more about Calafiori and Ben White in the next 48 hours. He did say that it didn't look good for Ben White. So
to be fair with Mikel Arteta, if his son had a common cold, he would say we won't know more in the next
more in
the next 48 hours. So
we'll know more in the next 72 hours after it's run its course, and he's all better.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Ryan, continue, please.
I think it was done. But yeah, no, we didn't need to score more goals, so it was just keeping healthy people healthy. I mean, yeah, the Ben White thing kind of threw me for a loop here, but and yeah, I mean, we have Premier League games to worry about, and I think we have depth, and that's been a good thing. But I still think we have a lot of players in this squad that are very horses for courses, very niche plays. Like I would have loved to see Kai Havertz play against Brentford. I think things would have been different. I would have loved to have seen Mikel Mourinho against who did we just play? Leeds?
Brentford.
No, before Brentford. Yeah, I don't know. I just a lot of yes, we have depth, it's great, but Kai is a very good player at certain things. Mourinho is a very good player at certain things. And I think those are the two players we've missed the most. And it's like, of course, they've been like hurt. Well, Kai's been hurt most of the season. Mourinho probably gone for the rest of the season. So it's going to be, I think, tough. Because when you play like teams that play in a low block, someone like a Mikel Marino who's going to win like every duel he can. He's a big dude. He's going to probably benefit the most from playing against teams with low blocks. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very big hill to overcome. But again, like, it's so funny how two sides of the coin work. Mike's talking about how like, oh, our lead is dwindling. And I feel like you two harp on the word dwindling. I harp on the word lead. Yes, we have a lead. And I'm not going to sit here and watch Mike's blood pressure go up when I say, hey, we're top of the league. But I mean, that's, I think it's just two sides of the coin. You guys want to worry about us dwindling the lead. I am worried about the lead. Because at the end of the season, we could win the league by 1 point. Well, guess what, fuckers? We won the league. So, and I'm not saying there aren't problems. There are a lot of problems. But I also think this season, I don't really see a team. I mean, the only team that could really challenge us, I think, is Man City. And even Man City is not a team, not what they used to be. And they're a team that it's going to be tough because we are going to them. But they're a team that's going to play open, and I think we can expose them. And then their back line is hurt. I know they got Gehi, but I don't really want to talk. I don't want to preview us playing Man City. But, yeah, I mean, it's the only team really threatening us. And, I'll leave it there because I'm sure we'll get into the Brentford game. But yeah, I lead. That's it. Lead.
Can I on the lead?
Go ahead,
thing,
Mike.
just on the lead thing because
not
again,
lead.
On the lead thing. Like I said, I when people are like, it's only February, it's only March, and I'm like, no, I get that, but clearly being 12 points ahead is better than being 7 points ahead. Being 7 points ahead is better than being 4 points ahead. So literally, and I mean, this is, I'm being almost fucking petty with this, right? At this point, right, Ryan? But like, we win our next 2-3 matches. City win their next 2-3 matches, and then they beat us. Are you like, it's still within our control? We're 1 point ahead, yay? Or are you like, oh fuck my life? Because I take your point that. And again, I kind of discussed this a little bit right before you got on with Tanner. Was I think a lot of supporters, including myself, we had the reasonable expectation that Liverpool were going to take some points off of them. And you say City ain't the city of old, but the city of old goes to Anfield and wins, and they did. And so I guess I could keep the positive and say, hey, we're ahead. But again, seeing it dwindle, it's a lead, yes, but it's not as big as a lead. And just facing the possibility that we have to go visit Manchester City at the Etihad. Sure, we could win it, and my whole fucking mood is going to completely change, as everybody else's mood is going to change. But on the off chance we lose this game, even a draw would be a smart tactical move there, right? But if we lose this game and our lead is down to 1, right? I can't I generally think you would just be taking the piss out of me just to be like, hey, we're still in the lead. I'm happy about this. Like, I feel like it'd be too far into, as I like to be, I've been saying lately, the toxic positivity. I'm like, you got to look at that as a negative, dude.
What, real quick, before you respond, Ryan, just kind of say like old Man City, what they do. And the funny thing about that is, if anybody's going to bring it up, the one thing that old Man City would always do is drop points to those shitbags up the road, which they've done twice this year. They go to Liverpool, beat them, but then, somehow or other drop points to them. Anyway, Ryan, respond.
Well, okay. So first, I did not expect Liverpool to take points off City. I think Liverpool sucks. I don't think they're a good team. Yeah, was I hopeful? A draw was in the cards, or something at Anfield? Yeah, but no. I if I'm a betting man, which on occasions I dip my toes in. I think City win that game. Liverpool Anfield has been a fortress. Not this season. There's a lot of teams taking points from Liverpool at Anfield this season. So yeah, I wasn't expecting much. To me, I guess I'm a little more simple-minded. You have a lead until you don't. So as long as we have the lead, like, yes, I could like be scared and squeeze my butt cheeks and squeaky bum time, all that stuff, and definitely like worry and be nervous, but we have the lead. So I don't know, like it's hard for me to like explain it. Like it's nerve-wracking. Obviously we can be playing better, but and I'm not saying either of you have said this, and I'm not, but there are people that are like, just blow it up. We're terrible. We're shit. I have, again, I hate saying this, Mike, but it is funny just being like, oh, well, we're top of the league. So it's like, okay, like we're obviously doing better than some teams, and we're doing something right. And I'm not saying we're doing everything right, and I'm not saying we're unbeatable. We're not. But we're the best team in the Premier League right now, but yes, I understand there are holes that need to be fixed, and we need to play better if we want to extend the lead. But not only that, I have my eyes on the Champions League. If you ask me, would I rather win the Champions League or Premier League? I'd rather win the Champions League.
Get out of my head, because I was literally just going to ask you. Like, I was going to interrupt you.
I mean, if we win the Premier League and not the Champions League, am I going to be upset? No, but if you ask me which one I'd rather win, it would be the Champions League. And yeah, so it's like I'm kind of like in the back of my like, we're in the lead, so it's whatever. I want to be the best team in Europe, not just England. So yeah.
I think a good. I'll kind of play both ends against the middle here. I'm happy that we have the lead. I'm apprehensive when it comes to how we're playing, because that lead can evaporate very quickly. And Mike, to your point, and I'm going to expand on that. And God, I hate to say this, and I almost want to speak the reverse psychology into existence with this, but there's a very good chance that City could completely wreck our entire season. Would you be stunned if they did the quadruple?
Yeah, I would be stunned. But what you said,
what part of it would stun you?
Them winning.
What part of it would? So 4 trophies.
Them winning all 4 trophies, that would stun me. I don't. No,
so you don't.
There's not one in particular. I think it's just them winning all 4 would stun me.
Would it stun you? Would it stun you if we did?
No. I think we're the most complete team in the Premier League, and I also think we're one of the most complete teams in Europe. But again, it's when we're playing, like when it's our day, when we're playing to full. If you're telling me if every team is 100% healthy, I don't even want to say healthy. If every team's playing to the best of their capabilities every day for the rest of the season, then I would not be shocked if we won the quadruple. But that's the problem, is we don't do it. And I think maybe I'm crazy. At least that's for me. That's what frustrates me. Is we don't play our best. But I get it.
That's
sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not a professional footballer, but like when I play in my league games, like there were days where I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't feel like playing. I'm not into it. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not feeling it. And
yeah, but see, as a
I'm sure no, they do. I'm telling you.
I'm not saying they don't.
They definitely do, but they get paid.
That's the point. This is your job,
and
your job is
I agree
to
with
win.
you.
And
but you can't just, in your brain, you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm getting paid, so I have to. Like, it's sometimes you just can't help it. Like
I mean, I do get it, because we all work here. We all have those moments for sure.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, but I will emphasize your point more about City being able to wreck our season. They can wreck our season, all right, because we potentially can play them 5 times in the span of a month? Not even. I think it's like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. 4. I don't even know.
It's 4 times, but yeah.
2. Oh, because the FA Cup is 1. I'm like not paying attention. Yeah, so the FA Cup, League
Well-
or the Premier League, and we could play them twice in a 2-legger in the Champions League. So yeah, they can potentially wreck our season.
You might not be far off because we can get drawn against them in the next round, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
so there is,
four
you're right.
times.
Yeah, we get drawn against them, then
So
it's
speaking
5
that
times
into
in them. Yeah.
existence.
What's that, Mike?
Well,
Thanks for speaking that into existence.
Oh,
I do think like one of the biggest thing I'm getting from Ryan is he has a lot more faith, and I find this fascinating because everybody's like they're not the city of old, they're not the city of old, and I feel like you Ryan, or like you're underrating them in my opinion. Do they have Kevin De Bruyne? No. Is he a massive influence in their game? Absolutely, but they're still trashing a lot of teams. Like it's not like they're still high on points. They're still right on our tail. This is
keyword
you say,
tail.
and I'll throw this one at you, right? You say a lot of teams win at Liverpool, and this is what frustrates me. A lot of teams win at Liverpool, just not us.
Oh yeah,
A lot, we play at home, and a lot of they lose a lot of away games, just not at the fucking Emirates. And this is what as I told you, right? Like we played a shit Chelsea. With 10 men, they had 10 men. In my opinion, we shit the bed. We should have won that because as you said, a lot of teams beat Chelsea. Chelsea has been shit this season, but again, just not us. So it's just, this is what I find myself being frustrated about. And like I said, watching City overcome these games, which maybe you didn't expect them to lose. But if you didn't expect these guys to lose versus you didn't, you expect them to win, versus Liverpool's Anfield. What is your expectation for us? Like essentially just win out for the rest of the season, because you're asking for a lot here. And again, we spoke about this on the last podcast you and I were on. We talked about history, and historically, this whole league is trending in one direction, and it's not looking good for us. And the fact that you're able to put that on the back burner and just say, nah, not this time, that one's difficult for me to cope with, because like I'm a big believer, like you're not a winner till you're a winner. And and that's why, like, when I see comments of bottling or saying this is the biggest bottle, first and foremost, factually not fucking correct. Not even close to being the biggest quote unquote bottle job. Not even remotely fucking close. Statistically speaking, factually speaking, not even remotely fucking close, right? Other teams have like literally lost the league with like 2 games left, 5 points. That's losing your fucking shit. Halfway through the season with like 14, 15 games left, you lose a lead. That is not a big bottle job. I don't qualify that as. But like I said, historically, it's not looking good for us. Pep Guardiola, one thing he's been doing very consistently, and you can look this up. I'm pretty damn sure he's said this 2 to 3 times already this season. And he said it's about being there at the end of the season and growing into the team that you want to be at the end of the season. So he said this. He's right there. They're gaining momentum. He's doing exactly what he said. He didn't say, I don't care about being at the top right now, but he just said, you just need to be in contention, March, April, May. And right now they're in contention and they're growing. And again, maybe I'm living off of the past a little too much, Ryan, but I saw this team win out like fucking 16 out of 16. So I've seen it happen before.
What season was that? It's funny, that's the season they did that. I was like talking to one of my friends who is a Tottenham fan, and he's like, "Dude, you're gonna do it this year. You're finally gonna do it." And I'm like, I'm not saying we're gonna do it, but there ain't no way City are gonna win out. Like, there's no way. And then they did. So yeah. But real quick, 2 points I want to take. So I get what you're saying, how I don't think City can keep up. Not keep up, but I don't think City are all that good. But then why did I expect them to beat Liverpool? I think Liverpool are just worse. I think Liverpool are not a good football team as far as challenging for trophies. And another thing you said about how it's not trending good for us, I completely disagree with you. It is completely trending well for us. If the trends keep going the way they're going, we're in the lead. We're going to win the Premier League. And I think what you meant to say was not trending well for us as far as history is concerned, because yes, the history does not bode well for us, and I think that's thematically a big difference between you and I. And you said, you harp more on the history. I don't, because go back to last year and this year. How many people have we signed in the last year? How many people we signed in the last 2 years? Like, this is systematically a different team, and I think we play differently too. A big thing I've already noticed this season compared to last season is we're okay with playing without the ball. We're okay with not having the majority of possession. There's a lot of games where we don't have majority possession and we still win. And I get it. We could be playing better. We need to be playing better. I'm not saying we don't, but I think there are definitely more positives than I'm not going to say you, Mike, than certain people are letting on. But yeah, I definitely think this is the season right now is trending well for us. But we gotta we do in a way we do have to right the ship, because there are some very like alarming things, and players are getting hurt. Montgomery will probably off the season. Ben White apparently is not that it matters because he won't be here next season. No, not that, because he doesn't play. He hasn't played for us this season. And the Calafiori thing, and I said it to the 3-point sniper, friend of the show, because he texted me before the game started, and he was like, I won't spoil the game for you. There's a person got injured during warm-ups. And I thought to myself, who would be the last person I would want injured? At first I said Saliba, and second was Calafiori. And everyone else, I don't care. You could get hurt, doesn't matter. He said Calafiori, I was not happy. But yeah, that's it. My rebuttal to Michael.
The trend. So it's. Do you look at the trend as the whole season, or do you look at? Because I don't think you can do that. Not in the middle of the season. I don't think you can look at the season as a whole. I think you have to look at chunks and recent form. And I have so many things, and I wish that I could have written them all down quickly enough to respond to you, because I agree with Mike that we are trending down. I said this. I said this in the group chat with you guys. 6 years. And he doesn't have an attack. He doesn't know what to do. He has it. He has his idea. He knows. Let me rephrase. He knows what he wants to do. But if it doesn't work, he doesn't have a plan B. So here we go. Broken record. Same thing Tanner always says when we do these shows, and it comes to this. But he doesn't have a plan B. And when we don't score, and the old American sports adage, defense wins championships. Not if you can't score. It doesn't, because that translates to 38 points, boys. That's what that'll translate to. And I mean, obviously, we're not there. But the lack of goal scoring is worrying. It's not even the lack of goal scoring. It's the lack of chances created. That, to me, that's the worrying thing to me. Mikey, I feel like you want to jump in. Go ahead.
Just on the So I was saying historically, the last, quite frankly, fucking decade of what Manchester City does. But even if you want to just zone in on the Arsenal, so a few notable results since the turn of the year: 0-0 versus Liverpool, 2-point drop; 0-0 versus Forest, 2 points drop; losing at home, 2-3 to United, 3 points dropped. And right now, again, 1-1 versus Brentford. That's 2, 4, 6. That's 9 points right there. Versus the shit Liverpool that Ryan just pointed out, that he's not amazed at loss versus City. Versus Forest, that has been shitting the bed the entire fucking season. United.
And just fired their coach.
Manchester United, the laughing stock of the fucking historical top 6 or whatever the shit you want to call it. And then Brentford. Brentford, at the very least, you can make the argument that they're like one of the most informed teams.
And very good at home.
Right there. Based on what Ryan said, a shit Liverpool can't beat them. A shit United can't beat them. Bottom feeder Nottingham Forest can't beat them. I consider that's a really piss poor trend for us.
Mikey, can I go back just a tick further than that? Can I go back to mid-December in the Wolves game at home where we didn't score a goal?
Did we drop points versus?
We didn't drop points. We beat them 2-1.
Oh,
we beat Wolves.
Oh yeah,
2-1
it was like
not score a goal
two
in that
away.
game.
Yeah, 2 away ones. Yeah, okay.
Two own goals in that game.
Okay, I'm gonna scream and I'm gonna wake my kid up doing that. Own goals, I don't care. That's like we created that own goal.
I knew this.
No, bruv. We only won 3-0 today, bruv.
An own goal is like what was it? When Noni Madueke hit.
I get the you created the chaos and the ball went in the net. I get that, but the trend is not scoring. That's the trend.
That's
and
a goal.
If we're going to rely on own goals, if that's
not
what
relying,
it
it's not relying on them, but you count them just as much as a regular goal. It's not. No one said anything about relying on own goals, but they count. Like that's the craziness. That's so crazy.
I think it's also crazy that until Gyökeres scored like 3 weeks ago, our top scorer in the league was own goal. That's crazy.
That's
and
hilarious.
You talk about how we don't create chaos. Well, own goal says Mr. Owen Goal says different.
Michael Owen Goal.
Yeah.
I don't do they count? Do they count? Absolutely. Does it speak? I don't know how that converts to XG. If I want to be a nerd, Brian,
I don't believe that it does.
Yeah. So it does count. The Wolves, though, I will say this. If I recall the Wolves one, it wasn't like crazy pressure from us. I think it was big fumbling on their end. I think we created a substantially more pressure versus Wigan today to create their own goal because it was like a cross, defender didn't interfere. It was going to be a tap in type of situation, right? So I'm not going to say own goals don't count, right? I'm not going to say, the stupid set piece thing that keeps on getting touted around. Which, by the way, fucking shout out to the English Sevilla admin for Sevilla scoring a corner and them saying we scored like a corner Arsenal style some shit. So shout out to the Sevilla admin. So I like that. Yeah, dude. I just I feel at the very least, Ryan, that if a percentage, and I'm going to just leave it at percentage and keep it vague. I'm not going to say large percentage, smart percentage, the average. If a percentage of the fan base is nervous about winning the league, and and for me, that's evident with how some people choose to support the team and how they react to things at the Emirates. I think there's a lot of nerves, and if they're feeling it, in my head, the players have to be feeling it. Like I don't know what sports psychologists maybe that they have that could prevent them from this. There was this one clip circulating where I forgot what it was, but it was like after a bad result, City had just dropped points, and at the end of the game, you just see Declan Rice saying every fucking time, like again, every fucking time, something like this, like. Everybody's general interpretation of that was him saying every fucking time we don't take advantage of City dropping points. So I think, who was it? This little old French player, I think a few people know him, Henri, once said, sometimes the fear of losing is greater than the fear of the excitement of winning, something along those lines. And you don't think that nothing about this, man? Like I do think historically there's something there to it. Like I remember a very long time ago, fucking sideswiping this whole conversation, when Atletico Madrid finally hit the Champions League final for the first time in forever versus Real Madrid. A buddy of mine asked me, like, hey, they're a great team. At that time they had like the Carrasco, they had all that generation. He goes, who's gonna win? And I'm like, oh, Madrid probably hand down. He goes, why? I'm like, because they're fucking bored of playing Champions League final. They've been here before. This is all new this is new territory for Atletico Madrid. I'm a big believer that exists, man. Like if you're part of a club that historically is big but have not done something relevant, truly relevant, big trophy, and what I love myself an FA Cup, but we're talking about a different level of trophy here. If you haven't done it in 20 plus years, 2 out of the 3 years finished second, and 2 of those years you were kind of expected to make a bigger push, and they did make a push, but they didn't win it. I feel like it's almost like impossible if you're a human being as an athlete to not be like, fuck, we keep on dropping points and they're catching up to us again. So I don't know. I find it difficult, and I see Ryan drifting, so I'm just going to say own goals don't count. We're shit.
No. I was paying attention. The only thing I would say to you would be, yeah, they definitely know. This might be crazy, but it's just like my reaction to your comments. I think we're that much better than every other team that, like, I don't want to say it evens out or balances out, but I think it's like we have so much more depth. I don't want to say we have so much more skill than City, but I think our depth and the way we set up, I think, could potentially overcome that. And then, like, you also just look at the teams like Liverpool when they won. They didn't win for years. Granted, funny enough, they won when there was no one in the stadiums. So whatever. But there's success stories all the time, like the Chicago Cubs, the Cleveland Indians. The bow has to break at some point. And I think we're set up to where it works out for us. Plus, I'm not notoriously a worrier. My wife constantly yells at me because I don't worry enough. I'm too calm and relaxed. I just don't. To me, it's not fun to worry. It's not fun to be nervous. So I try to, like, just go with the flow, go with the ride. And it's easier that way. That's what I try to convince myself every morning, anyways, when I do my my meditation. No, but just really quick, breaking down. We only have 3 losses. You would think like we have like 8 or 9 losses this season. We only have 3 losses this season. Ready? Liverpool, Szoboszlai free kick from the gods. That, I mean, I think he did replicate it, but that's just, what are you going to do about it? Now, to be fair, it was 0-0.
To be fair.
And it was going to be 0-0. I don't think we were really playing to score, but it was the 3rd game of the season. I think we kind of just wanted to, okay, this is like an early test. Let's just get out of here. If we get a goal, we get a goal. We don't. Free kick, whatever. Villa is our 2nd loss. They're just I think they're a bogey team of ours, and I think Emery still has his, like, finger up our pooper somewhere in the Emirates Stadium, and he'll always get points from us. It's just I don't know. It's like one game a season. Well, we play them twice a season, but one of the games every season, we just, like, I don't know. We just, like, we see Emery and we think, like, oh my God, and the club gets, like, PTSD and we drop points to him. It's weird. I don't know. And then the 3rd game, United, we handed them a goal. We literally was like, yeah, we don't want this lead. Here's a goal, which, again, it's our fault. So I'm not, and they scored 2 worldies that I think won 1 goal of the month. Or it's gone to win goal of the month. I don't even know what month we fucking played them. But, like, and to be fair, and that's another game where I thought they played so much better than us, and their manager won Manager of the Month. Since Carrick took over, they've been a very, very good team. Honestly, I think besides City, I think they're the 3rd best team currently in the league. They're playing that well. They kind of found their rhythm a little bit, and we just played them
at points total. They're the 4th best team in the league.
Yeah, but like, they're playing really well. They were like so ready to play us. Like it was crazy. And it's funny because everyone talks about the game like, oh, we were so much better than them. Like, we handed them a goal and we scored goals. Like, yeah, but they prepared for us so well, and you could just tell by the way they were playing. And then I just really want to touch up on 2 other games. Brentford beat Villa. They beat Newcastle. They beat Liverpool. All the top teams they've beaten when they go there. City only beat them 1-0. So it's hard. Brentford's a hard place to go and win. And as it's funny because of all these games I've talked about, probably more pissed about the Brentford game than any of the game, just by our mannerisms on the pitch and the way we played, what we showed. And then really quick, Forest, Sam Dyche is another manager that, like, I don't know, just like I don't say bogey team. I don't think we play bad against him. It's just I don't know. It's something about him. The way he sets up, the way he plays football tactically is just like it's not. I mean, it's anti-Arsenal in the fact that it's like our kryptonite. We can't play. We struggle to play against teams that set up in a low block, that like to foul and slow the game down, and
So how do you beat it?
start to passage. Yeah, we do, but like it's just Forest, and when we played Forest, they were actually starting to play well. They were playing well while we were like right before we started playing them. So yeah, but
I think everything you
crazy.
just said, though, you kind of agree with me.
In what?
In the frustration in watching, like, okay, is there any shame in losing to Villa at Villa? No. Villa are the third best team in the league. I don't take any shame in losing that game. I don't take any shame in losing to Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield to a worldie. What I take shame in the Liverpool game, in the Brentford game, in the Forest game, in the United game is where's the effort, boys? Where's the bravery? Where's the courage? There's none of that.
And it's funny, that's what I was going to bring that up next.
You know, you couldn't blow air into their buttholes. They're so puckered up for some reason. And
I will say, Ryan, your theory that Nottingham Forest has been playing good when they played it. Don't look at their table, dude.
Well, they're not playing well now. No, that's why they fired. That's why they fired Sean Dyche.
Leading up to it, loss versus Fulham, loss versus City, loss versus Everton.
Why do I feel like they were playing well?
That's a game that Forest and Brentford and United are right now, and those are three games that are just going to stick in my craw all season long.
Yeah, dude. Look. Fulham lost, City lost, Everton lost, Aston Villa lost. They West Ham. They lost versus Wrexham in the FA Cup.
Well, Wrexham's in the Premier League next season. Easy.
Drew us proceeded to lose versus Braga. They did beat Brentford a few weeks ago. So that, I mean, they could beat Brentford away too, 2-0.
Yeah,
hey, Braga's a good team. Put some respect on Braga's name. And Forrest on that game had a red card, so they weren't winning that game.
It's the performance. And I know that there comes a point in time in the season, and I'm going to say it for you, Ryan, because if I know you're going to, if I keep going, where the performance doesn't matter. It's about the result. We're not at that point yet. We have, I believe, 13 matches left to play. 12, 13. I know it's 12 or 13. I keep coming back. You've got to score goals and you've got to create something. So to your point, Ryan, when you what's the word? Contradicted me with the own goal thing. You're absolutely right. The own goal doesn't come. It's not like the dude got the ball, turned around and kicked it past his goalkeeper. Like, oh, surprise! You know, yeah. You're absolutely right. They count and they do come from creating chaos, but we don't create enough of that. And you and I, for years, have talked about creating chaos in attack. I've said it a million times on these very airwaves. If I've said it once, give me the structure defensively, because that's how you play defense. Structure and hard work. That's what it takes to play defense. Doesn't take talent, takes hard work. But in attack, chaos. Give me chaos. And the thing is, and Mikey, you said this to me, I think before Ryan got here, that you don't really hate watch, you watch highlights. And I have found myself watching City probably for the last month or so. I'm watching their games. And you know what I see with them that I don't see with us? Chaos. Their attackers are everywhere. Haaland, he plays through the middle, but he's everywhere. Bernardo Silva, he's everywhere. Semenyo just got there. He plays predominantly on the right, but he's everywhere. They're not beholden to one place on the pitch. And I kind of want to segue this into something else that I wanted to talk about, and it was regarding the Wigan match today. So to kind of tie everything in and bring up a point and to capitalize on what Chris said and what you said, Mike, um, necessity is the mother of invention, or however it was that he said it. Um, so Bukayo Saka has to come because Calafiori decided to run the Navy SEAL Buds training course. I'm sorry, I thought that was a good tweet. But because they apparently put them through Buds training before a match, Calafiori gets hurt. So MLS, who was going to play in the midfield, gets shifted back to left back. And now in comes Bukayo Saka to play the right 10 or 8, whatever we're gonna consider that now. Something that I've thought about, Bukayo Saka, if you take the pitch, follow me, cut it in half, midfield, and then break it into thirds, left, right, center, Bukayo Saka really only plays on the right and drifts into the center. But this is everybody on the team, attacking-wise. Trossard, Leo, when he's got the ball, he's on the left, maybe drifts a little center. Gyökeres is only ever in the middle. The only player that I think really doesn't stay in one area predominantly is Kai Havertz. And, of course, he's been hurt most of the year. But in looking at what City do versus what we do, well, I've said it before, it's choreographed. The attack is choreographed. You need to be here on this count. You need to be there on this count. You need to be here when the ball is there. And when the ball is here, you need to be over here. And it drives me absolutely up a wall. So it's the performance, it's the lack of chances created that gives me pause watching this team thinking, I'm not confident that they're going to win a trophy right now. I'm just not. Anyway, Mikey, want to jump in on anything I just said?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up the choreograph thing. I think there was a recent clip from Mikel Arteta. I think they asked him like some mistakes or something he's changed or how he's evolved, and he said that he almost used to overload the players with information, and that he had to kind of he said he's drifting away from it. But I will say, I think there's not a soul alive that doesn't believe when Zubimendi passes the ball to Odegaard. Nobody expects Odegaard to play a nice floating pass to the left. He is going to run towards the right, pass Saka and pass it backwards. If not, just pass it to Saka. And then Saka's going to do something, which is this season, not a whole lot. He's not going to put in a cross or a goal. He's going to lose the ball. Unfortunately, Saka's not have been having the best of season so far. And predominantly, Trossard and Martinelli on the left-hand side. And this is something I'm sure, Brian, we've been slightly disagreeing a lot on a lot of these things, but I think a lot of it is our left-hand flank always seems isolated. So whoever's on the left, it always feels like whoever's out there is having a bad game. And whoever's out there just has to kind of depend on a moment of magic or waiting for Declan Rice himself to put a through ball. Because our left-hand side does always kind of seem isolated. And our right-hand side, whoever it is, be it Bukayo Saka, be it Ethan Nwaneri when he would play there occasionally, Max Dowman, Bukayo and Madueke. But yeah, we rely extremely heavily on that side of town. And City, to Tanner's point, it does seem a little bit more balanced. It feels like the chaos can come from anywhere where there's space. They see the flank that's open, and that's where the ball's going through us. For us, it just seems so one-sided. I couldn't tell you if that's a tactic that I don't understand, but at the very least, I feel like because I've seen it so much, it does feel predictable. So, if a manager decides to put 2 men on Saka, I'm not going to criticize him for him. You were saying a little bit earlier that you're okay with you didn't say you were okay with the United loss. That's not correct. You understood, or you said that, hey, they set up well to defend against us, right? If teams already have the head knowledge that the ball is going to go to Bukayo Saka, they're just going to keep on double teaming him. And it'd be a nightmare. So I think what Tanner is trying to allude to is I do think it would be kind of nice to see a little bit more flair or whatever version of Odegaard used to be prior to becoming a vegan or some shit and like losing muscle mass and like I don't know what the shit happened to him, but he just seems like so uncreative based on his stats and the person that he was or the player that he was 2-3 years ago. So I don't know if that's like Mikel spending more time with Mikel Arteta has made him a little bit more rigid and a little bit more like like conservative in his passing. I don't know what it is, right? But it does seem that we're so meticulously drilled to play one specific way that is predictable. So we've all seen the game where it doesn't look like we're going to score and nothing's going to happen, and we just continue to pass the ball to the right, to the right, to the right. And that's like 99% of the heat map for Bukayo Saka. So are you concerned? Because if I recall, the question on the notes was, can Mikel Arteta coach an attack? If that was Tanner's question towards you and I. I think he can, but he's too strict, and I wish he was a little bit more lucid. I guess with some of the attacks that he did a long time ago. I think Pep Guardiola said that his job was to train the team to be able to get into the final third, and then from there allow his players to express themselves. I don't think we are allowing our players to express themselves in the final third. That's kind of the vibe that I get. I think Mikel gets them to the final third, and then they say, okay, by the way, here's the next 4 steps. So how are you on that?
I completely agree. Yeah, no, I agree. Everything you said, I couldn't agree more. I think he's, Arteta started us from the back, and I think it's funny because I think we have a leader in the back four in Gabriel, who kind of takes charge. He's worn the armband for us. We have a Saliba who kind of a little bit of a maverick. He doesn't necessarily march to the beat of a center back. We've seen him carry the ball. We've seen him carry the ball in the box. So he's not a typical defender. You go to the midfield, you have our captains in the midfield in Martin Odegaard. So you have a leader there, but you also have a leader in Declan Rice who takes the ball by the scruff of the neck and tries to win games, but he's not an attacker. He's a midfielder. I wouldn't say defensive midfielder, but he's not an attacker. And another midfielder in Mikel Merino, who's also won the armband for us, which is funny enough. I've seen players rally around him a lot, which I did not know he was like a leader like that in the locker room. So that was kind of cool to see. Cool, we have that. We have a leader. We have players that take the game by the scruff of the neck. Saliba does that too. When you get to the attack, Saka's won the armband. I don't know what it is. I don't see him as a leader. I don't see him as a captain of our club. He's someone who has the story to be the captain of our club, but his personality does not fit a captain of Arsenal Football Club, and that's okay. I don't need him to be the captain. I don't want him to be the captain. It's not a big deal. And and then you look at the rest of the attackers. Who of the attackers is a leader? Maybe Gabby Jesus, but really it's because he's experienced trophies. He knows what it's like to win, but I don't think he's a leader. I don't see him as a leader. And my last point, there's no attacker on this roster that'll take the game. Well, I don't want to say there's no attacker. There's no attacker that will take the game by the scruff of the neck and win it. We haven't seen that. And that is my issue. So I disagree with Tanner a little bit in talking about how our attack is stale. We have no plan B. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think our issue is we have no players that want to lead the team in attack. And it goes to exactly what Mike said. I don't know if I would do exactly what Pep's saying. I think there do needs to be some little choreography in our attack because we're younger. We haven't been there. So I think we kind of need a little help. but I do think that a lot of these players need to express themselves. And I don't think any player really does that. I think in Eze, when we signed Eze, that's when I was excited. I was like, this is a player that could take the game by the scruff of the neck. He can make that magic moment. Saka was doing it for us a couple of years ago, but I just was like, yeah, it's fine. But he's hurt a lot, and for him to get into fitness, for some reason, I feel like he's the one player that takes way too long to get back into fitness. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, but I thought Eze would hit the ground running. Eze would be that person that would transform our attack, and he hasn't. He's had his good games. Don't get me wrong, but he just doesn't know where to fit. I'm really mad. I don't remember what game I was watching, but there was a game where he was playing. He was a 10, and the ball was pinging back and forth, and it just seemed like he was 5 seconds behind every ball. Like he was on the way up, the ball would go in our defensive third, and then he would, okay, damn, I gotta run back. And then when he would run back, as soon as he ran back, the ball would ping back to the forward, and he had to run back. And he kind of looked lost. He didn't know where he needed to be positionally. And I think that's his thing. And Palace, he kind of was a free bird, kind of roamed a little, but also too, like Palace didn't play with possession a lot. Palace didn't ever really play from dominating position. So this is all kind of new to him. So I think this is going to take time. And I think he is for me anyways, he's my last hope for this attack, because we need a maverick. We need a player that's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and be like, give me the ball, let me dribble. We need a goal. I'm going to make something happen. And it used to be Saka, and I think that's why people loved him and relied on him so much. He has not had a good season, and he has not done that at all. Which, even worse. But yeah, that is my worry, and I hope Eze can do that, because we need that. And I think and that's why, like, I get frustrated when people want to blame Arteta. I mean, I guess you can blame Arteta because we don't have a player to do that, so you can blame Arteta for not trying to sign a player like that. But I don't know. I don't think it's all on him. I don't think it's because we don't have a plan B. We don't have that guy, and I think we need more than one. And then my last point, watching the Brentford game, I completely disagree. It wasn't a plan B. You watch the players on the pitch. They thought they were like in a training session. I think it was 0-0 at this point, where I think Medweke passed it to Rice. It was early in the first half. Medweke passed it to Rice, and Rice clean shot on net right outside the 18. He dummies it to, I don't even know who he dummied it to, but he lost the ball. And it's like, what? And
Leo.
like,
it was Leo.
It's like little things like that. Like, what are you dumbing the ball for? You have a clean shot on goal. You've scored free kicks from further away. You've scored free kicks from further away where there's a wall and the goalie's expecting a shot on net.
Well, can I interrupt you on that? Is that not case in point and exhibit A of having things drilled into them too much, information overload? Is it too much coaching? They said on the broadcast today, and I couldn't for the life of me tell you who the play-by-play announcer was, but he made a comment
today.
It was today, and he made a comment.
It was Ian Dark and Dan.
Ian Dark, thank you. Yes, it was Ian Dark.
The other guy was former footballer, but whatever.
Ian Dark made a comment that Arteta is always seen in the technical area gesticulating, and he didn't say barking instruction, but I don't remember the exact terminology he used, but basically saying, he's always, in the technical area, and he's always shouting instructions at his players and this and that. And he's like, and you would think that in a game like this, that he would just take a deep breath and sit down and just let his players do their thing. And he didn't. And it doesn't matter. We could be playing the Little Sisters of the Poor, and he's going to be barking at every single player. I have to think that at halftime, when the right side of our setup, so today Ben White, Nani, and even Bukayo playing in that right 8/10 role, that at halftime, when they switched sides and they're on the opposite side of the pitch from the technical area that they're like, thank God. This dude doesn't shut up. There's you guys will appreciate this, and I've always got to get my American sports reference in. There's like Matthew Stafford was mic'd up for a game, and he's going into the huddle, and he's like, because Stafford being the quarterback, he's got the coach in his ear, and it's Sean McVay, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I got it. Please stop talking. I got it. And then he's looking at his teammates in the huddle. He's going, this guy's still talking. He's still talking.
That's awesome.
And it's like, this dude just won't shut up. And I have to think, like, because you don't ever see him sit down. And there's I get being a control freak, because believe me, that is my fatal flaw. If I've only got one, it's probably that. I do not like I can't let anyone else drive. I'm a control, so I get it. But me and my wife know firsthand. He has to relinquish control of this. And Mike, you said it when I was gone. I had my phone on, so I heard you. And everything you said, I agree wholeheartedly with it. Ryan, I'm going to tell you right now, I might be stealing your spirit animal. Because boy, oh boy, I feel like everything he's saying is like right in line with me, brother. I'm telling you. But it's you've got to and I disagree, Ryan, when you said respectfully that they're young and they need a little, however you worded it, a little coaching, a little whatever. But I don't think they do. I think these guys are talent. Bukayo, Eza, they're Gyökeres, all of them, I think they're all talented enough to just let them go. Let them do their thing. And this is my biggest knock on him. And I am going to say this. So here's another mic drop moment. If we don't win a trophy this year, he's got to go. Not because I'll just say it and then whatever you guys want to do. Not because he didn't win a trophy.
That's someone to look up.
It's because he can't develop. He hasn't in 6 years developed an attack that can consistently go out on paper, best team in the league. Sure. Go prove it. And I get you have a bad game. You have 2 bad games. I get it. It's a long season. But the same problems consistently come up with different players. That's the other caveat to this is it's different players doing the same thing. So my point is to say he's got to go is it's either A, his instructions, and his instructions are wrong. They're doing what he's telling them to do, or they're not getting the message, in which case his message is stale, and then he's lost the room. And I don't think he's lost the room. I think these guys love playing for him. I think it's his instructions. There's Mike, you're up. Hot take, ready, go.
And between you two, Ryan casually saying Ben White's not going to be here next season, and now you're telling me to fire Arteta.
I don't like that I'm saying that, by the way.
What did I get invited on for?
I don't want to be that Arteta out guy, but I'm looking at it saying to myself legitimately, can he do it at both ends of the pitch? Because everything he's done is otherworldly. He's missing one thing. And I hate to say it's the most important thing, because if you don't do it, you can't win. And that's score. Sorry, Mike, I didn't want to.
Well, everything's going to be resolved next season because Julian Alvarez is going to be with our club. So.
And Mike, and you know what he's going to do? The same thing that everybody here right now does.
Pass to Saka?
Not score.
He's going to drop back and pass to Saka? Is that what's going to
Oh. I wish I didn't have to dip out when you were because dude, seriously, like everything you said, man, everything. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's look, so now it's a difficult conversation to have because so I can, this is going to be silly maybe. I as vocal as I've been with how disgruntled I am that the season is playing out the way it's playing out, and Ryan, shout out to you for putting the season into perspective. We've lost 3 times. And maybe the season would be looking a little bit better had we lost one of those games in the Champions League instead of the 3 being in the league. And I think the league, again, I'm battling against the past ghost of the big bad wolf that is Manchester City. So it's something that I can't shake personally, but shout out to you for being able to kind of like put the past into a little box and not be too much of a worry war.
What's in the box?
So I'm a big fan of saying I'm a big fan of saying like you can't. I don't change managers unless you lose the locker room. And so I guess I'm going to play the percentage here and say that we're more often good than not. And because of that, I do think that if we continuously stick around with him, sooner or later, I do think there's going to be a title in our future. I really do think we're gonna win something this season. You know, probably maybe potentially an FA Cup. We'll see how the draw is kind to us or not. I do believe that we totally have the capability of beating Manchester City in the League Cup. Whether that's, you know, quote, enough for some people, you know, that's a different discussion. But I do think that we're one of the very, very few fan bases in all of the world of football that gets to say for the fourth season in a row, we look like favorites or we're title contenders. It's just the big bag wolf that we're dealing with is 115 charges in counting. Manchester City, they don't look like they're going to be at the end of any of their project anytime soon. And look, there's rumors that Pep Guardiola is going to be leaving after this season or the next season. That would kind of pain me, not beating City with Pep Guardiola. Right. Just call that ego. I'm sure Ryan's going to tell me he doesn't give a shit who we beat. That's just a thing that I have, right? That I want to be able to. It's probably social media stupid stuff where like
you want to beat the best teams when they're at their best.
Yeah, I just because I would have to read rival comments of you didn't beat.
Well, you didn't do it when Pep was here.
Yeah. Same way for the record as we said it, to Liverpool before the last season where you didn't do it in front of a crowd, right? Stuff like that. That's what social media is, right? Just us taking the piss out of other supporters and stuff.
Or our own supporters.
Of our own supporters, absolutely. No, dude, super long-winded no for me. I'm gonna continue to play the percentage with Mikel Arteta. I do think sooner or later shit's gonna hit the fan. And dude, it's as simple as this. And I know that these type of conversations could turn into a, oh my God, shut up, you're making excuses. But we spent so much money in creating this depth, and then the depth is like taken from us. So all of a sudden our left back isn't a choice. It's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Who is going to be our attack? It's not a choice. It's kind of boils down to playing as in my opinion, at a position on the right as the 10 for Odegaard, because I think he naturally plays a little bit better on the left. Or, for long periods of time, we had Gyökeres for 4 or 5, months of the season. So for me, man, I kind of look at it, and I know it's circumstantial, but you kind of see the difference of the team when like Kai Havertz is in or something like that.
Very much so.
So I kind of feel like, like the slot thing, man, a lot of it was circumstantial. It was a healthy team that, they blew people out of the park. City is just City. They're just really good. They have a freak of nature as striker, so he's always playing. But I also think at Liverpool, when they won the league during COVID, that was another situation where they face minimal adversity regarding, injuries, regarding actual COVID cases, because a lot of players, they were playing a lot of teams, missing a lot of players like that. And that whole season was wacky. So it is, in my opinion, that if we hit that golden timing of health in the league, not the last 4 or 5 months, not the first 3-4 months, but that golden, period in which we just need to be good at the exact right time with the healthy players. I do think that the team is good enough with the manager is good enough to actually win a title. And like I said, with Wenger, I felt very like holy shit, the fans are booing the shit out of him. I see players. We saw Alexis Sanchez was like the manifest of the crowd. I think of how half-hearted players were playing for him. At least it seemed to me. Same thing with Emery at the last couple of games. So I just don't get that vibe with Mikel Arteta. So I because of that, he sticks around for me for. I'm not going to put a time frame, but as long as I don't feel that the team is saying this guy's fucking clueless, I say keep him around.
Ryan, did you want to jump in on any of that?
I mean, I agree with everything Mike said. I just have a quick question. So if we lose in the finals of the Champions League and we lose, I mean, at second place in the Premier League, you still want him gone?
Context matters. I need to see.
I mean, you said if we didn't win a trophy, we want him gone. So.
If we don't win a trophy, and it is down to us not being able to score other than from crosses into the box and set pieces, and again, they all count. I get it. I'm not saying they don't, but if we struggle to score, and if the reason that we don't win is because we couldn't score.
Well, that usually is the case. If you lose, the other team scores more than you.
What I'm saying is that if we can't create, okay, if we play like if we play like we did against Brentford, that wasn't a good game, right? Would you say that was a good game? And we drew a team that played really, really well against us. That we played our asses off, because I don't think we did.
I think they played well, Brentford, but yeah, we should have won. But again, I'm
not even saying here. I again respectfully disagree. I'm not saying that we should have absolutely battered them. I'm not even going to go so far as to say that we should have won. Better performance.
No, on paper we should have won.
That's Brentford plays that well against us and we draw, when we're playing at a very high level, take it. It's a hard place to go and play. But it's the same thing with Liverpool. When we played at Liverpool, we didn't go at them. We didn't do anything. We were scared. The fact is, we were scared of Liverpool and we were scared of City when they came here. When they came to the Emirates, we were scared of them.
Question for you.
I don't know if I say scared, but I don't really have a better word though. Sorry.
So I was just to question you on the scares thing, Tanner. So, like Pep Guardiola, everybody said when he faced Arsenal that he set up that way. That they played for the draw. And after the game, he pretty much admitted that wasn't our game plan. Sometimes the opposition make you play a certain way. So that was him tipping his hat to Arsenal and Arteta, saying they made us uncomfortable. They tactically countered us in just the right way to make us have to throw away our entire game plan. So just because how the game played out, and just because you mentioned it, like, do you think this is what the team or like the actual players or Mikel Arteta sought out to do versus Brentford, or do you think we just caught Brentford that they did? This is one of the first games in a lot of games that I could recall that not only do we drop points, but we drop points and we were like way far away from XG. As I watched that game unfold, I didn't think we were going to score, because I didn't think we were going to get. We had 7 shots, 2 on target, 1 big chance created. It was the goal. I didn't think just the way we were playing, I didn't think we'd have anything. And I don't think Arteta set up that way. I think it's just like Ryan said, I believe earlier, just kind of like, and forgive me if I butcher it. I'm not trying to quote you verbatim here, but sometimes you just have a bad day. And I think it was we were off the pace, if you will. We were on our heels, back on our heels. We weren't front-footed at all. I think it was just a bad day at the office for us. I can live with a draw when it's a good day at the office against an informed team in their barn. I can live with that. What I can't live with is not playing up to the level that we know we can play to, and then it's like, and then walking out of there like,
Okay, well, if we play to the level that we could play to, what could that have been? If we play to our level and Brentford can match that because they're in form, they're at home, tip your cap, you move on. The other team gets paid to play too. But I didn't think it was a particularly good game from anybody on either side. And I think given the way that both teams played, the draw was what was warranted. But it could we have played better? Yes. If I can walk away from it saying, I'm not sure we could have done much more, and we drew them, like, hands up, tip your cap, off you go. So I don't think it's ever set up. I shouldn't say ever, because I think we set up very pragmatically against Liverpool and against City. I think he set us up, meaning Arteta, against Liverpool to get a draw at Anfield, and I think he set us up against City at home to get that into the 70th minute, bring on some subs, and then go try to nick a late goal. And it almost backfired.
I find it so interesting that we all have different games in which we're frustrated about, because like I again, the Brentford one, I could accept it, and Ryan's like, this is the one that upsets him, and I'm still like,
it upsets me too.
I'm still like hooked on like Liverpool for. I'm bringing up games from 3 months ago, guys. Like I'm bringing like,
dude, I'm frustrated with games that we've won. Watching them,
you're still mad about the Wolves. Like,
that's another one that just count. Like 3 points is 3 points. We won, hooray, good day. But shit, we were not good, and that's. And again, like, I think that's, and I said it after that game, that's the mark of a championship team, when you don't play well and you still win. And I was saying that at the beginning of the year. And now all of a sudden, now it's coming back to, we're not playing well and we're not winning. Now we're drawing. It's either going to turn back around to, okay, we figured it out. We're not playing well, but we're playing well enough to win. Or we're not playing well, and now we're getting our ass kicked. And the way that we've been playing, I'm afraid it's going to go. Early in the year, we were winning those games. Now we're drawing them. End of the year, there's only one left that hasn't been the case. So, Brian, go ahead. If you want to, if you don't want to say anything.
Well, maybe I'll find what I was going to say while I start talking.
Well, let me. I want to ask a question, and I want to get away from all of the negativity that I've brought to this table.
Ryan's being a really negative Nancy. You're right.
That's me.
Talking about the necessity being the mother of invention. Tactics, lineups, positions, players, and where they fit, and blah blah blah. I have thought for a while, and I know others have thought this as well, that there would come a time where Bukayo Saka would play in the midfield. And I really hope that if that day ever did come, that he would show that that's really kind of where he will flourish. And I'm not saying he flourished today, because I still don't think he's completely 100. I don't think he's 100%. And I'm not sure he's going to be 100% at all the rest of the season. But today, and yes, opponent considered, the way they set up considered, but Saka at the right 10, Eza at the left 10. I mean, the only player left to play on the right wing is Nani. So Nani on the right. Leo or Martinelli on the left, and Gyökeres through the middle. And Gyökeres didn't start the game. But give me a front five of that, with Saka and Eza just staying in those pockets. And I want to see what happens. I want to see if those two can break down these low blocks without the, as Mike, as you said earlier, the ball constantly going out to the right to Saka. Well, now he's in the midfield. So now he's central. Now what do you do? Because he can go left or right. So I'm curious to your guys' thoughts on Saka playing centrally. Whoever wants to start.
Okay.
Always go the wrong way.
I again, it was we again. We were up 4-0. I don't see we're going to see it in a competitive game of football. I think there's a handful of players in which they're cemented in the one and only position that they're going to play. In order for you to accommodate those five, one of Declan Rice or Zubamendi would not be in the squad. And I'm a firm believer that those guys are going to play every single worth playing competitive game as long as they're healthy.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need to?
I think we could. I think we all wish to see a more attacking lineup occasionally. I think there was one game, maybe Crystal Palace at home, in which we saw Eza on the left, Zubamendi in the base, and on the right we had Odegaard, and it was like the first time everybody was like, "I want to see Eze and Odegaard play in midfield," and it was Odegaard. I think it was Odegaard that got injured like 5-10 minutes into the game or some shit.
It was a shoulder again. Yep,
shoulder again, and then we just never saw it again. So, so it has happened, but I do believe this is extremely circumstantial. Like they're in the Champions League. No go. They're both healthy. They're going to play. There's no, I don't think Mikel Arteta is the type of guy that like, oh, this is two legs. We could go all out or some shit. Last 15 minutes, we talk about the past a lot today. I thought one thing that was pretty interesting to me is that Mikel Arteta got like almost criticism for making 4 changes. I think it was 4 or 5 changes versus United all in one go. And in the back of my mind is like, yeah, cool. If you thought shit was bad, change it. I don't give a shit if it's like people say like, well, it reeked of desperation. Yeah, no shit. We were losing the game.
We were.
Yeah, that's the circumstantial, situations in which
here again, context matters.
Context matters. It's that old Arsene Wenger thing where he had fucking, whatever, Podolski, Theo Walcott, Chamak, whoever the fuck was playing for us at that time. All like is like what seemed like a front six. Yeah. You do put people in that, right? But
that's why you bring your goalkeeper up.
Yeah,
on the last kick of the ball to try to overload something.
Yeah. I think Arsblog brought this up once and very long time ago, but I listened to them religiously. And he kind of thought, yeah, he could play that position, but probably later in his career. And maybe that's what it is. Where like even Messi, I think, drifted from being a right winger predominantly to a false 9, and his movement on the pitch changed a little. So I'm gonna say, meanwhile, Bukayo Saka continues to have some explosiveness to his thrust, if you will, with how he takes on defenders. I think he's gonna be there, and maybe who knows, 2-3 years down the line, he might eventually drift backwards. But that's my interpretation. I don't think we're gonna ever see it as a setup at a beginning of a game, unless it's a pretty crazy circumstance. Like maybe first leg of the Champions League, we lost 2-0. I could see it like that. Yeah, it's circumstantial, but an everyday tactic, simple game of the league. Right now we're 4 up. I don't foresee us doing that myself. Like I don't think we're going to go to the Etihad with that squad. Firmly believe Declan Rice and Zubamendi. And dude, here's a hot take here. I'll complete it because everybody had a hot take today or something crazy.
I've got one more since you brought up Zubamendi, but I've got it. Okay. I've got another one, but go ahead.
When I saw Zubamendi come into the club, while I didn't watch him a whole lot, I knew his reputation that he was good, and he's been proven to be probably our signing of the season. Maybe you guys disagree with that, but I think out of the entire bunch, hey, shout out to like Mosquera and Capia. They're fucking brilliant. But I'm just saying, Zubamendi's he has the ability, because of the position in which he plays, that he gets to affect the defense and the offense. Versus Mosquera and Capia, you see how good they are defensively. We saw the last versus Brentford, was it, where Mosquera did like a last ditch tackle?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm nothing against them. I'm
He
just
had
saying,
From his
his best,
own
he had his
mistake,
best
but
moment
yeah.
and worst moment all in the same
yeah,
time.
yeah, all in the same time. Yeah, I'm just saying that Zubimendi has the ability because of where he plays to affect the back and the front. So because of that, there you go. Yeah, they're brilliant players, but I just say he's had the ability to affect both sides of things, and that's why he gets highlighted a little bit more. But anyways, my hot take of all hot takes is when I saw Zubimendi come in, I was like, fuck, I thought Declan Rice at left 8 was only going to be a transitional thing. I thought Declan Rice was 100% going to go back to the base once Thomas Partey left. And I was content with Declan Rice. And I was totally happy for as a player to come in to play on the left. Because in my mind, it'd be nice to have more offensive players. And Declan Rice plays, he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where, Declan Rice. So I was perfectly fine with just having him shield the back four and have two more offensive players. But unfortunately, Mikel Arteta and I see football differently, and he believes that Declan Rice is capable of staying on the left as left 8. And I don't know, it's just a perspective of mine, probably because I've seen him be a defensive midfielder his entire time. And I know his offensive stats are pretty good. But there's something about Declan Rice that every time he plays on the left, I say to myself, we're defensively solid there, but we're like 5 degrees less threatening through the left-hand side. That's my interpretation of Declan Rice. And listen, yada, yada, yada. I love Declan Rice and all that. No, I don't want him out of the club. Just go throw that out there, right? Before anybody, God, this guy doesn't rate Declan Rice.
You spoke so fast, I thought you said, I love Dick and Rice. But whatever. Anyways,
poor time with poor Miss Molina jumping into the line.
yeah,
right.
You absolute swine, Ryan. You swine.
Really quick, BG, before you go, I'm gonna throw a flag on the play. That's not a hot take. I was the one banging the drum that he was going to be our left 8, and I don't remember what your take on this was, but I know when we were on the show with other guests,
or Rice was going to be the left 8.
Rice was going to be left 8.
Okay.
I was banging that drum, and I don't know if it was UBG, but I know when we had guests on the show, every time guests on the show, Declan Rice is going to be the 6. Declan Rice is going to be the 6. And everyone tried to make me look at they didn't try to make me look at it. I already am an idiot, but they were constantly trying to just counter me and be like, no, Declan Rice is not going to be left 8. So not a hot take. Sorry, you lose.
All right. So if you could only play one of them at the 6, Mike, who would it be?
Why you got to be like that for, man?
Wait, Declan or Zuby?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm very curious.
Still Zubimendi.
Yeah, listen, I bet you I know what Tanner's hot take is. He wants to play Rice at 6 because he thinks Zubimendi sucks.
I don't think Zubimendi sucks.
What a prick.
I do not think Zubimendi sucks. No, we've had this debate before, Mike.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what he does.
I understand fully what he does. I understand fully what he does. I will tell you this, Ryan, horses for courses. If we need to attack, if I can only pick one and I'm only picking one because I have to set up to attack. I have to set up to be more creative is probably the way I'd rather put that. I want Rice at the 6. I want Eza on the left 8. Who is better offensively? Who do you think is better offensively between Zuby and I'm telling you, and hey, fine margins.
No. Answer your question because I'm already ready to answer it before you even complete the sentence.
Who do you think is better offensively?
Zuby. Not even a question. Not even close.
He's better offensively than
not even close.
Rice. Why?
He scored. He scored 2 important goals for us.
So wait, all right. I'm going to counter your argument because a week ago you told me you didn't care about numbers. Now you do.
Care about what numbers?
Numbers. You said you didn't care about numbers.
Let me look at my thread.
Oh no!
I'm not sure if it was in there. It might have been privately that
every
I said
second.
No, I will find it.
Because because you wanted to pull up numbers on why why our attack sucks and why it's Arteta's fault, which numbers don't prove that. That's what I still want to type all that out. But yeah,
Numbers don't
which
prove that our
by the
attack
way,
sucks.
before the show ends, I want to go back to the Arteta talk, but we're talking about this. We're talking about this. Zubimendi, it's not even close. The only thing Rice offers us in attack is his free kicks, which is nice, and his corner kicks, which is, don't get me wrong, very nice. It's how we score goals nowadays. But no, Zubi's passing, Zubi's assisting, and Zubi's scoring is the reason why I want Zubi all day.
We simply disagree.
Yeah, but you're wrong though. So
I'm not. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. And opinions. Oh, Mike, he does this shit to me all the
Everybody's
time.
entitled to their opinion, even though they're wrong.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, right. Everybody
I
has an
will say,
opinion.
because you guys were talking about the offensive stuff so much, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna play Ez on the left and Udegaard on the right, I'm gonna need somebody more defensively solid. So now I'm back to Rice. Now Rice has to be more defensively solid at 6 now.
I don't want to play Odegaard on the right in the right 8 or 10.
You want to play Saka? What's your hot take?
Oh, the Zubimendi thing.
Yeah, what's your
hot take?
Yeah,
is how do I word this? Because I'm glad that he's here.
I want to sell Zubimendi,
and I think and I think he is a necessity. But I don't. I guess my hot take would be I don't think that they both have to play.
Zubi and Rice.
Yeah, I don't think that they both have to play at the same time. I don't think that Rice is so good at the left 8 or 10 that and I don't think that Zubi is so much better than Rice at the 6 that they both have to play at the same time. And this is another thing with Arteta. There's no Mikey. Necessity is the mother of invention.
All right.
The only reason
Chris,
that we see these things with him is because he has to do it. But Ryan, you have agreed with this. It's hard to explain, but if he doesn't start you, he doesn't trust you. And it sounds crazy to say, but if he doesn't start Declan Rice might not play. He is so married to his starting 11 and that starting 11. So if he starts Declan Rice, he's married to him.
I don't agree with that this year.
He's been better with it, yes, but not. The reason that Bukayo Saka is having the down year that he's having is because he's run the tires off of him for the last 4 years. It's finally catching up to him. You get tired and worn out. What happens in sports? You get injured.
I don't necessarily blame that 100% on Mikel. I don't necessarily blame that 100% on Mikel Arteta. Yeah,
you think Saka's going to be like, "Hey, boss, take me off. I'm tired."
No. Again, I said 100%. I don't know 100% blame Mikel Arteta, but I don't know. I don't know what I chalk it up to. But I'm not blaming it all on Arteta. Yeah, he gets blamed for that for sure, but I'm not. No.
I mean, he makes substitutions when we're winning a game on the 94th minute.
Every manager does that.
Why? I know why you do it if you're losing.
I've always hated it. I don't know why they do it.
I mean, to me, you're like you're trying to slow the game down that you're winning. What are you doing?
I don't know.
So you're with me that it's a strange concept.
All managers do it. It's stupid. I don't like it.
I mean, unless you get the sub up on 85.
I'm sure there's a reason.
There's just no stoppage, and you don't get a chance to put them on until the 94th minute. That I understand. But my thing is, there seems to be no change. If everybody's healthy, this starting 11, it's always the same. And I think
I don't agree. Trossard, perfect example. He started playing like shit. Who came into the squad? Martinelli. We tried Madueke as a left winger. And then Trossard came off the bench, pissed off. And what game was it where he scored that? That might have been actually 2 seasons ago. No, that was the first. I think it was our first game this season. He scored a really big goal.
There are certain players that I agree are, if you're going to, like Gabriel and Saliba, they play.
Yeah.
They play. But
Timber's
Ben
better.
White hasn't played. So on the one hand, he either plays guys too much with no rest or rotation, or he doesn't play them enough, in which case then they go out and they get hurt because they haven't played Ben White.
But again, I think Timber falls into that category. Timber, to me,
I
Timber's
don't
playing
at all.
every game.
I love Urian Timber. Hot take. I love Urian Timber. I think he's the best right back in the world. But Ben White doesn't suck.
Yeah, but
Ryan
Timber
White-
is
why do you
Timber is
hate
way
White?
better than Ben White. That doesn't mean it. Like, yeah, I agree. Timber is a better player than Ben White, and Timber is the most
does that-
consistent player.
Okay, but so you build all of this depth, but then you don't want to use it because, well, that player's not as good as the other player, so I don't want to play him.
That's like the only
So the
position we
depth-
don't rotate, which is funny because Timber didn't have a good game against Brentford, and I think it's because we're playing him too much. But
Yeah.
besides that, we've been rotating like crazy. Like
Who?
our midfield's been different
who's-
almost every week.
Mike, I'm going to say it again. You want to say it for me this time?
What?
No, I'm being a good boy. I'm staying out of this one. Actually, I
Wait,
like to
what
see
were
the
you
back and
saying?
forth that you guys are going.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
I don't know what that means.
He's rotating because he has to, because players are hurt.
Still rotating.
What? There's a
Whoa,
difference.
whoa, 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 whoa,
There's
whoa,
a
whoa,
difference,
whoa, whoa.
bro.
No, there is a difference.
No,
but he's
Ryan,
still rotating.
don't. Okay,
There is.
Ryan,
I
now
wore
you're
my-
wrong.
I wore my gray pants
No,
today because
wrong.
my blue ones are dirty. There's a difference, okay? I like my gray pants, all right?
No, there is a difference, but
Well, there's nobody left to play. But hey, he rotated. No, he didn't. He played a player because he's got to start 11 players.
But again, then this argument doesn't matter then because we don't know if he would have played that player had he not been hurt. You're assuming he would have played him had he been healthy, but we don't know that for sure. So neither of us can be right.
I don't understand what that means at all.
You're saying
If
he's
my aunt-
rotating.
If
Listen, I'ma tell
if my
you.
aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle.
No, not the same.
So
Nope.
okay,
Not the same thing.
I'll quote Mika Arteta and something he said last season. And he said that the lineups for a few months of last season were heavily defined on fitness, not on who he thought was the best choice. So I will say that even and that's something I wanted to bring up because like I just I'm sideswiping the back and forth for you guys have right now, but like a lot of criticism came from like Odegaard and Kai Havertz who got injured, and I do think that like our players are playing with certain limitations. And the more that I think about it, Mikel Merino actually played a few games prior to his diagnosis that he had to have in, the surgery. So what I believe was he's been playing hurt this for a long period of time. He was just saying, "Hey, this is driving me crazy. Something's hurting me," and we come to find out that he's broken some random bone. So I do think there's a large dynamic that goes on, and I do think that like maybe as supporters we look at it from the outside and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're not playing this person, you're not playing that person," and then we find out months down the line he's working through something. So if I can't tend to agree with Tanner on this one as far as like if everybody was like 100% fit, I do think maybe a little bit of Mikel Arteta, but maybe also a little bit about the quality of the players, as Miss Melina put in the live chat. Jurian Timber is the best right back in the world. I really like Ben White, and I earlier in the podcast, Ryan did the whole hot take that potentially, Ben White
RKO out of nowhere,
right? The savage man that this guy is. He just said like out of nowhere. But like, I can't not say Jurian Timber's not a fucking better right back. Then so like I can't not say that. So if you told me you told me Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Jurian Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Raya, Bukayo Saka are going to play every single game if healthy, I'm going to say yes. 100%. I think they're going to play every single minute available. But I do think a lot of it is.
Do you think they should?
Do I think they should? again, context and whatnot. I
Sure.
disagree that I disagree that a few like I can't remember the squad health at the time, but like if I don't think they played versus that last game in the Champions League, but if they played that last game, you know, I'm like I don't know why they played that last game. There are a handful of games in which you're like in the league. I don't care if you're playing Wolves at home, just play them. But if the Champions League, you already got like something's already sealed, I think you could afford to rotate. Like today versus Wigan, I think you could afford to rotate certain circumstances like that. But
not in the league. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I do think that it's I don't know if overblown is the proper word, but I do think part of me feels like a player should be able to play 2 games of football in a week.
Sure.
And I say this, and I understand that the calendar is becoming bloated, but it's that thing where like the top managers have spoken about this. It's about carrying on the rhythm. It's kind of like a body in motion stays in motion. There's an actual definition, sport science definition for this, but you don't want to get a whale oil machine that is well lubricated and is moving in a certain way and say, hey, we're just going to rest you and not you don't play for X amount of times. That's why when I see like Declan Rice come off the bench and play 10 minutes or 15 minutes, for me, I literally look at this and say cardio. That's my interpretation of the sub. It was like nobody's playing out of necessity, but like, hey, go over there and do an actual match speed movement.
Yeah, go run around a little bit.
That's how they end up playing, in my opinion.
I agree that you should be able to play 2 matches in a week. I agree with that. I just think that there are opportunities, and you have to find them, because in order to do the things that we want to do, you have to rotate. This is why you bring the depth. You don't bring the depth in for, in case of emergency, break the glass. I don't think that's why you bring in a player like an Nkapie or a Christian Mosquera. I think you bring these players, Nani. I don't think you bring these players in. Ryan, you and I went back and forth at the beginning of the summer over him. And why are we spending 50 million pounds on a guy that's going to be a backup? And it's like, nope, he's going to play. He's going to play. He's playing now because he has to. But he hasn't played a whole lot in terms of the price tag context. But you have to find.
What's his weekly wage again? I forgot.
It doesn't. You brought him in. Yeah, so if you're going to bring these guys in,
paid. There's
play
players
them. Find the places in the fixture list where you can play these guys to not run the tires off of them. Because while I agree that yes, you should be able to play 2 matches in a week, I do not think that they should play upwards of 67 if they play every single match possible. I don't believe that they should play 67 matches if healthy. I think there should be, because you're asking for trouble on 2 fronts. The guy that you're playing all the time is going to get hurt, and the guy that you bring in to replace him when he does, because he hasn't played, is probably going to get hurt. I think you have to find rotation. You just have to. You've got to be able to find Mike, I disagree with you, because I do think that you look at whoever is, you do it at home. But the Wolves match, to me, would have been a good opportunity for a bit of rotation. And it does keep things fresh. It keeps these guys who are sitting on the bench, it keeps them fresh in wanting to go out and prove themselves and say, hey, look at me. Look at me. I can play. I want to play. I want to be better than the guy in front of me. Give me a chance. So I think this is another knock on Arteta that I have. I think he just gets married to certain players. So you guys want to talk about the Arteta thing. So here we go.
Well, no, I wanted to quickly, Nani Madueke makes less money than players. He's making less money and playing more minutes than players in the squad. So like to say like we're not using him, that's baloney. He is playing.
The point is he playing because Arteta wants to play him, or is he playing because he has to play him?
Both. I think Arteta
I
wants
don't.
to play him. That's why
I
we
don't
signed him.
believe that I
And
won't say that I
why
don't
we
think
sign him?
Arteta wants to play him because I won't go that far. I think the majority of it he's playing Madueke because he has to.
Okay. Well, he started left wing for us. Well, was he good? That's a debate, but I don't agree. I think he was brought in for depth purposes, and there's players that could be brought in for depth purposes.
Which I'm fine with the depth, but you got to play these guys not out of necessity.
But this is what
to Mike's point, they could be working through something, which is why they're not playing. The only rebuttal I would give to that is if they're working through something, why are they getting a shirt? Why are they on the bench? Why isn't somebody who is healthy and available? Why aren't they getting a shirt?
Because they warm up and warm down with the team, so that's why they get. Because if you don't get a shirt,
if you can't use them, I don't. That would be. You could be absolutely right. You could be absolutely right.
Because if you're not, if you don't have a shirt,
then that'll be a personal thing with me. That it's like if I can't play you, you're taking up a spot on my bench. That somebody who is available, God forbid I need them, they could play. But I'm gonna give you the shirt so that you can warm up and warm down with the team.
Well, I mean, I think they could play 10, 15 minutes.
So in that case, why dress a second goalkeeper?
In case our goalkeeper gets sent off or gets hurt.
So why, if a player is hurt and he's sitting on the bench and I can't play him?
Well, I think they could play, just not like for 90 minutes, 45 minutes. They could play for like a half hour, but they're mainly I also think Arteta has an idea. I think managers, when they make their starting lineups, when they make their bench, they have an idea who's going. They have an idea subs. They have like a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. I think they have an idea. Okay, these are probably like my 5 subs. But if we're losing, these are gonna be my 5 subs. If we're winning, these would be my 5 subs. I think he has like an idea.
Sure, I agree with that.
Of how that happens. But also like the thing that I just don't think there's an argument to be had because you're saying, oh, and Menwiki's playing a necessity. You again, and I know I'm gonna get stick for this, and I'm gonna get hate for this, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck. You don't know that if Saka has been, let's say Saka never hurt, let's say he's been healthy the whole season. You cannot tell me with 100% certainty that Saka will be playing every game. You can't. I don't care. You could say, he will.
No, but I'm not dealing in hypotheticals.
Exactly. So this argument is moot. It doesn't matter.
I'm not dealing in hypotheticals. You're the one who's saying if this, then that. Anyway, Mikey, go ahead. I keep seeing your.
Yeah. You're saying we're playing Milwaukee.
I'm not going to argue this with you. You're the one talking about
it. Yes, because you have nothing to argue about.
Mikey, go ahead.
Remind me of that episode of the Boondocks that the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
That's another fucking Chris quote.
It's just no. This one is a Boondocks. I love that show. Shout out to anybody to watches that animated series. No, we don't know that we don't know is what I think Ryan is what Ryan is arguing, and I agree to that. We're just going based on what we believe. That I believe, at least, what I'm gonna say we. I don't want to rope anybody in. What I believe that I've seen that they do in the past. Do I agree with? Okay, so I answer the question in a way of saying, should they or can they? Yes. Do I agree that if we have 3 games in the span of 7 days, would it kill us to rotate? Not Trossard, but whatever. Martinelli gets to play midweek. Jokic instead of Jokic, Jesus. I do think that because you invested so much money in actually creating the squad depth, you almost have literally the obligation to. So manage the minutes, create everything. BX Schooner mentioned that in the live chat. There's no passenger in the team. Everyone has a part to play. I do think that to that argument and to like back BX a little bit here is I do think that we've raised the level of our floor so much recently that I feel like it's a little foolish not to use all your tools. 3 years ago, when we had no offense here, Ryan, I'm not trying to rattle you up, Nelson, right? Like we had Nelson, Smith Rowe, and I'm a huge Smith Rowe. I love that dude. So I was bummed out that he left, but you know what I mean. When we had more teenagers on our bench, you could almost rationalize and say, okay, this is exactly why Mikel Arteta is not rotating because, you got to trust an 18-year-old, you got to trust a 17-year-old and stuff like this. But now, your backup isn't Rob Holding, respectfully. It's Hincapie. Your backup, isn't whoever the shit was playing the left back for us at the time, isn't Tierney or whoever it was, Tavares. Now your backup is Calafiore and Malulu Skelly. Now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we definitely have more depth now. And I think it allows the manager a little bit more, opportunity to rotate without drastically hitting our starting 11. So yeah, it's a balanced conversation. I see where your guy's at. But I do listen. I agree with BX in the sense that he should rotate, and that's a whole part of building the squad. And I understand where Ryan is coming from as saying that there's zero chance of us knowing what our starting lineups would be if everybody was healthy, because we're just speculating. And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's a podcast. We're shooting the shit. We're speculating. I'm all high up on caffeine, and we're just having a good Sunday chat that just came out of nowhere the last 24 hours. So I get that for sure. So interesting topic all around, but I would say after hearing you guys two debate and go back and forth, I would say that I'm erring more on the if they're all healthy. I would say it is smart move for the manager to manage everybody's minutes and give the entire squad to go out. We're no longer have a bench full of teenagers. We have a bench full of quality footballers that would probably get into a lot of starting lineups throughout the league. So that's what I'm going to go with. You talk to me, man. What was the last topic you guys? What was it? Ben White thing or the last? Or Mika?
No, you guys want to talk about Arteta. So
I just wanted to say one thing before we talk about Arteta. The thing I will
kind of been talking about him. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, the one thing I will say is, kind of like taking the other side of my point, kind of arguing myself here. I am a little bummed about Christian Norgard. I think he needs to be playing more minutes. I don't know why. And it's weird. Every time he comes in, plays for us, he plays so well. I get it. He's more of like a one-trick pony, but I do think he is of use to us in a lot of Premier League games. I don't get it. And that's a player I wish Mikel Arteta trusted more. I know we didn't bring him in for much. Probably going to get rid of him in 2 years. He's like our – I think every year we always have a midfielder that we just bring on for leadership, cheerleading, and then we bring him out. Jorginho was one, but I think Jorginho did play a lot for us. But, yeah, he needs to play more. And I think, we talk about – I mean, we didn't talk about it, but, someone like a Zubimendi who is turning into a very important player in our attack, scoring a lot of important goals, facilitating a lot. I wouldn't hate if Zubimendi got pushed up the pitch and we had Norgard on. But I mean, that's probably a conversation for a different day.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah, I also wanted to give Norgard a shout out because he was man of the match today. Granted,
thank you for that, because
it was Wigan, but yeah, I'm very bummed that he doesn't play more.
That is, to my point about playing these players. That's it. That's exhibit A. There's a dude that was captain of a mid-table Premier League side, plays for his country, can't get a sniff unless it's out of necessity.
I mean, to be fair, he's by far our worst midfielder. But yeah, I agree. I think he needs to play more.
And that's saying something, that he's the worst midfielder of a world class, arguably the best midfield in the fucking world, and he's the worst of the bunch. Boy, can't wait to sell that guy.
I like how Ryan is like, yes, I agree, but you're still wrong. That's what I heard when he said, well, he's the worst midfielder.
Right? He just bigged him up, and now he's like, he fucking stinks.
And Tanner, this is why he's my spirit animal. He'll never be your spirit animal. He knows me better than my own dick. Thank you, Mike.
Melina, aren't you glad you're here for this kind of talk? It's tremendous. Oh my God. All right. Well, what more about Arteta did you guys want to bring up, and we'll finish this up and we'll get out of here.
Because I'm going to exaggerate a little bit because I want to. And to kind of liven up the debate a little bit, you talk about you want Arteta's head if we don't win trophies, and
I didn't
you
say
think
that. Don't misquote me.
you did, Mike? Did he not say that?
Did not say I wanted his head
Mike?
if we didn't win trophies.
Okay, you want him sacked. Is that better? You want him sacked if we don't win trophies. I mean, you're acting like he's playing FIFA and like the players have no control. And where I agree with what we've talked about tonight, how he is just narrating the game, telling everybody where to go, where to be in all facets of the game. And I think he could do a little bit less of that in attack. I agree. But he does not control these players like FIFA. These players have actions. You go to the Brentford game. Multiple players. Rice did it. Martinelli did it. Gilchrist did it. Jesus did it. All taking extra touches when they just one time. You cannot blame Arteta for that. The Martinelli. Granted, it was a very good save by the keeper. Martinelli breakaway-ish at the end of the game. Martinelli should have just one-timed it. Done. Declan Rice should have one-timed it. He didn't. He actually should have one-timed it 2 different times. One time he dummied it. The other time he didn't even shoot it. He passed it, I think, to Leo again. Jesus was in the box. Should have one-timed it. He tried to go around the goalkeeper. He didn't have an angle, or it got blocked by a defender. Yeah. So you can't blame Arteta for our players not wanting to shoot right away. They're taking extra touches in the box. You'll never be able to convince me that Arteta instructs them to take extra touches in the box. No, that's on the Brentford game is 100%. 100%, 90-ish% on the players.
Could you?
We looked toothless in attack. Don't agree. We were in a lot of good opportunities to shoot. We took an extra touch and ruined the chance.
We have every player in the world that takes an extra touch. The only players in the world who take extra touches are all a part of this team.
No.
I won't say that he instructs them to take the extra touch, but let me ask you this question.
Oh, here we go.
Because when they take the extra touch, what are they doing? They are putting the ball on their strong foot. Could he be instructing them to, hey, get it to the strong side?
No.
Okay. I don't have an opinion on it either way. I won't say yes or no. I'm just saying that's simply devil's advocate.
I think it's like that they're just I mean, I guess the best way I could describe it, which I don't know if I fully agree with this, I think they're trying too hard to score. Where like sometimes you just gotta let it happen. Like sometimes you need a couple own goals.
You're gripping. I'm not.
Yeah. Nice. You almost got him to go full.
But like I think you just need like I'll never forget. Ready? So when I was a kid, I was on a travel team, and we recruited this player. Funny enough, I ended up going to grade school with him, and I met up with him later in life when he was at Catholic school and I was at public school. We joined the same team. And I've been on the team for a few years. He joined the team, and I was like, I don't know, man. He's a good player. He's okay. Couldn't get a sniff of the net. And then we play this one game. Corner comes in. His back is to the net. He doesn't even know where the ball is. He's so confused. Rolled off his calf and goes in the net. Celebrates like he won the World Cup. And funny enough, the rest of the game he actually played pretty well. I don't think he scored again, but he definitely didn't score again for the team. But it's a confidence booster. He played a lot better. He was better, all because the ball literally didn't even see the ball in the air. He was, I think, pushing a defender. I don't know what he was doing, but the ball literally got on his calf muscle, and it didn't hit off his calf and go in. It rolled off his calf and rolled into the net. And sometimes that's just what you need.
That sometimes is what you need. Not an own goal. You need one of those fluky balls that just but goes in.
I think the players are just trying too hard, and maybe to an extent you could some way weirdly word that back to Arteta. But they're trying too hard to score, and maybe Arteta's putting too much pressure on them in the attack. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not instruction, it's just pressure. But I don't think it's from Arteta. I think the pressure is from, going back to what Mike was saying, the pressure is just from the history, the pressure is from the fans. We've talked here about Emirates Stadium kind of being just one big sigh and butt cheek session, and the fans are really going through the emotions of the game, which I don't really want to hear or see at the stadium. I want the fans to be 90 minutes singing Arsenal songs, singing our praises, but that's just not going to happen because of the history. And I think the players feel it, and I think that's the way they feel. I think they feel it in the fact that they're just trying too hard, and they're waiting for that perfect opportunity. They're taking the extra touch to put it on their stronger foot. But I don't equate that to Arteta telling them that. I think it's equating them to being nervous and them being like, "Fuck, we have a chance to win something, and I can't fuck this up. So I need to put it on my strong foot to maximize my goal scoring opportunity." But in reality, they're not. They're taking away goal scoring opportunities. And my last point. For Arteta is the countless amount of interviews that these players are having with the club, and all the players say the same thing. Oh, Arteta called me. He sold me. He bought me in. He's recruited so many players come to this club, so many good players. Not like Ange Postecoglou in his interview the other day where he talked about how he was scouting Embuemo and Neto and Gahey and Semenyo, and then Tottenham bring him Solanke and a bunch of teenagers. You know, we're a big club, Mike. Yeah, I said it. We're a big club. We don't sign teenagers and all that mumbo jumbo. But yeah, he has a big hand in who comes here. So I think he's doing something right in his planning and game planning. And also, you don't see a lot of players trying to leave the club. Well, the players you do see trying to leave the club are the Emil Smith-Rowes, the Reece Nelsons, the players that are just not getting game time. Because frankly, I love Emil Smith-Rowe. It's my boy. I have his jersey, and I still wear his Arsenal jersey, and I have his Fulham jersey. I think I proved it on your podcast, Michael, when I put it on. But like, our floor is being raised, and there's still players that want to come here. There's still players that want to fight for their spot, and no one of substance and of note and of importance is really trying to agitate and move away. So I think going back to what Mike is saying about him, like I can't want his head, even if we potentially don't win a trophy this year. It'll definitely be heartbreaking. I'll definitely be pissed off, and I'll want to blame him. But and again, I think at the end of the day, for me, how I judge things, everything's game by game basis. There are games where I've blamed Arteta. There are games where I blame players. There are games where I blamed one or two players and the ref, which that I wish I could blame the ref every game. But yeah, no, I think the players. I think as a season, I think the players get more of the blame than Arteta. But again, there are games where I come away going, dude, what is he doing? Like, has he lost the plot? Like, I don't know. But like Mike's saying, as long as all the players are bought in and they're not playing less than 100%, not because of injury. Yeah, no, he's turning this club around for the best, and I think we're only getting better.
Only thing I wanted to add to the extra pass thing was like, do you guys view it potentially as not so much that he's literally telling them play the extra pass, but he's telling them do the most cautious thing, like don't lose the ball, don't take the risk of we spoke about playing the stats a little bit earlier, right? And I say I'm playing the stats, and I'm thinking that is going to eventually win something with us. Playing the stats in that sense for me was like, hey, what's more risk adverse? Making a pass to Sack on the flank or letting one rip from outside? And I think maybe there's a little bit of that. So no, he's not literally tell them play the extra pass, don't shoot. But I do think whatever the fuck you do, don't lose the ball. Because if you lose the ball and you lose a duel, I am angry. I am upset. And so
I don't think he's saying that in the 18 though. And these all these extra charges that I named, they were either on the 18 or in the 18, which that doesn't make sense. Why would he say make a cautious pass in the 18? Just at that point, shoot the ball.
Yeah, the more risk averse thing in those scenarios is the extra pass, and I think, is the shot. That's the most risk averse thing, because what's the worst that's going to happen with the shot? A, it's going to get blocked, or B, if it doesn't go in the net, the worst thing is it gets blocked and there's a transition. Then you just miss the net, ball goes out of play. If there's a pass, you run the risk of the interception and and a break the other way, whatever the case may be. I certainly don't think he's telling them that. And yes, Ryan, I agree that in those moments, in those micro moments, That is down to the player. On the whole, the attack, the way he wants to attack is on him. It's the players. The players aren't the ones going out there saying, we're going to give the ball to Bukayo Saka on the right all the time. That is his tactic. And at the end of the day, if it's not his tactic, here's what I do know, is that it's one of two things. It's either A, his tactic, or B, they're not listening to him. It's one of those two. There's nothing else it could be. If there's a third option, I'll pause for 5 seconds. Give me a third option of what it could be.
They don't pass to Saka every time on the right. They used to do that. They didn't do it this season. Granted, to be fair,
is it his instruction?
He's not playing.
Or are they not listening to his instruction? It's one of those two things.
No, it's neither. You just said the game plan is to pass to Saka.
Okay. What I'm saying now, if there's a third option between them performing his instructions,
okay,
or not, which is it? If there's a third option beyond those two,
they're performing.
So are they doing what they? So are they freelancing? Are they doing whatever the fuck they want to do?
No. I'm answering. They're listening to him, but like what you're saying, he's instructing them to do is wrong. You're saying that he's instructing them to pass to Saka. They don't pass to Saka.
No. I'm not okay. Take the very specific situation out of the equation for a minute.
Yeah.
Are they doing what he's telling them to do?
I think it's both.
Or are they freelancing?
I think they're doing what he's saying, but I think there's...
Do you think that he gives them the green light to freelance when they want? Do you think he says be creative?
Well, I mean, they don't really... Like, and that's what Mike said, and I agree with. They don't really... There's no player... Well, I said there's no player really in the squad attacking wise that really likes to express themselves. We don't have that player. Now, is that because of Arteta? I don't know. It could just be the personality of the players we have in the squad. I think every player
in the squad has that personality.
How do you know? Who's done that besides Eze, who just signed?
I've watched the games.
You just said we have no.
This year. That player, you're right. That player doesn't exist in this side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not. They could, and Eze did today a little bit, but by and large, they don't. I think Bukayo Saka could be very expressive.
So, Ryan, are you saying he allows it and our players lack the personality to do so? Is that...
that's the question. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if we have that player. I think Saka was a close... Eze is a new signing, so... It's hard for me to quantify that. He has expressed himself. He scored a hat trick against the Spurs. I don't know why I said the Spurs. He scored a hat trick against he who must not be named, and he's played well in other games. But then there's games where he gets yanked at halftime, like the Brentford game. Like there was a game earlier in the season he got yanked at halftime because he didn't track back. I think he's just trying to figure the team out because, I mean, when he was at Palace. I don't know if you can get two teams on opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, Crystal Palace didn't really play a low block, but they didn't really. They've been like either they're definitely bottom. They were definitely bottom three last season in possession, and they're notoriously a very poor possession team, and we're always one of the top.
You go completely off the rails on Eze and the difference between he and Palace. Get back to Arteta.
Well, he was asking me if we have the type of player. Or didn't you just ask me about do we have that personality in our squad? And I was saying the only person you could bring up to is Eze, but I think he's trying to adapt to the squad. You had Saka, but Saka's issue, I just think he's battling through something. I don't know if we'll see I don't think we're gonna see Saka at his best form, and I also think he's trying to save himself for the World Cup. To be fair.
There's another hot take right at the end, Mike. What are we doing here, Mike?
No. Hey, just shout out to Kelly. Kelly, that's been Kelly's.
I think he said
for a little bit.
Yeah, he did. I think he could be. I don't know. I don't know if the personality is there. I don't know if Arteta is really drilling them into not a personality. That doesn't make sense to me. But like, you know who had personality? Aubameyang. And we were scoring goals when Aubameyang did Aubameyang win the Golden Boot when Arteta was manager, or he tied for Golden Boot? I don't fucking even know. So I mean, I don't think. I think it's a mix. I think we don't necessarily have the player, but I also think it's information. I'm going to agree with you a little, BG. I think he gives them a lot of information, and sometimes when you get a lot of information, you're going to be like, okay, I did A, B, C, D. Like I know E's to express myself, but like I've worried so much about A, B, C, D that like I can't express myself because I'm kind of just going through the motions robotically. I mean, you could blame him for that. You could blame the player for that. I don't really know. But I think Ben Weke has kind of showed a little personality, but like he could be hit or miss because
he just doesn't have the end product.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because I agree with that. I agree that he is one of the few that have shown a little bit of expression, but he just doesn't have the end product. And and he always seems to be the guy that wants to dribble in a phone booth.
Yeah.
He gets into the box, man, and it's like he just wants to dribble, walk the ball up to the net and just tap it in. He wants to walk the ball, dribble the ball into the net. Ryan, I'm going to give you your last word here. Mikey, I'll give you a last word as soon as Ryan is done, and then we'll get out of here because I feel like I've kind of
like 20 minutes will be no. The only thing I wanted, my last word is be something that we didn't really talk about that I kind of wanted to just touch upon is the kind of going back to the Brentford game about Victor Gyökeres. I won't name names, but there is a player that me and a person that me and Mike mutually know that literally couldn't say one nice thing about Victor Gyökeres. Can't stand him, and I laugh every time he speaks about Victor Gyökeres because I actually thought Victor Gyökeres had a really good game against Brentford. You know, this person who I like, by the way.
Do I know this person? Is that why you won't
think
say
so? I don't think you know
right.
who does he? I don't even know who he is. I don't even know if he's ever been in our chat room.
This mystery person.
Yes, mystery person. I don't think
this person. You at least tell me off the air who it is.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't want to call them out,
I could call them out now if Mike wants me to, but I don't. It's not a big deal.
I'm just
curious. The person says, "Oh, Victor Gyökeres has the heaviest touch. He has bricks for feet, and then he has he has amazing touches in our Brentford game. Plays an amazing through ball to Timber. Yeah, it was to Timber. Like he played. He's Victor Gyökeres is getting confidence. He's playing better. I do think for him to fully excel as a player for Arsenal Football Club and to score more goals and potentially be a Golden Boot contender, he needs Kai Havertz. I really do. Or he needs another player to kind of fill whatever. Maybe
he needs another player up there, but almost beside him that's going to pull a defender away from him.
He needs a Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to give a shout to Victor Gyökeres because some people were slagging him. But I think again, and this has kind of been my overarching opinion about Victor Gyökeres, is I'm not saying he's been the signing of the season. I'm not saying he's been amazing, but he's been a lot better than what the average Arsenal supporter thinks of him. And yeah, it was fun being here. Mike, thank you so much. BG, I respect your opinion, but you're wrong. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
I love that shit.
I mean, I knew something along those lines was coming. So,
I love Mike, the last comment that came in, dude. I know.
I
agree.
What are you
doing? It's funny. I agree with her. Too. Watkins is having such a bad season. I'm like, and I was banging the drum. We should have signed him last season. He's playing so bad this season.
I don't want to. This is a whole. Like I could go down a rabbit hole of this.
Well, next time you're off, hit us up. We'll come back.
I'll hit you guys with like a unnecessary hot take.
Also, Ben White's Inter Milan, 50 million. You heard it here first. Sorry,
to Milan.
Yeah,
I'll take him at Milan. I'll take Gabriel Jesus at Milan. Actually, he would do great over there.
Yeah, right.
Here's my hot take, and I'm not gonna even add context or nothing. I'm just gonna. This is my outro. I think Eze as a signing was unnecessary.
Unnecessary?
Unnecessary. You could have just kept the money in the bank.
I don't know if that's a hot take because I think a lot of people kind of feel that way.
Are you saying that like knowing what you know now, or are you saying when it happened it was unnecessary?
When it happened, I didn't understand why we purchased it.
Okay, because I disagree with that. But I think knowing what we know now,
I think when Kai went down with the major injury, that's why we brought him in. I don't think if Kai doesn't go down at that point with the injury, I don't think we sign Eze.
If who does? Oh, Kai. Okay, yeah.
Because remember that whole day. I remember that day. I woke up to
love that.
Kai Havertz.
Remember the day.
I'm back in my day. Woke up to the news of Kai being out for whatever it was, like 6 months or something like that.
That's right.
Then like 2 or 3 hours later, and Ryan, I don't know if it was it was in our group chat. It was in our group text that it was like, that's all of a sudden where the Eze news started to break. And then I'm like, whoa, what? And it's like, it makes sense. I think that's why. Anyway, sorry.
That's a good point, though. Melina brought up. I also think like we also two birds with one stone. Need him for an injury, but we also, fuck Spurs over just a little. Just stealing, just snubbing from the Spurs. No big deal. Yeah.
For the vibes. That's it for me. That was my outro.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, if you've made it this far, and God bless you if you have.
I have a hot take. We can't stop unless you have a hot take.
Me?
PG. Yeah,
I've given you 2.
Wait, what were they again? Oh, Zubimendi is a terrible offensive midfielder.
Oh my God! See,
there's a few adjectives that were added there.
He always does this to me, Mike. Always.
Well, no, seriously, what was the other one? I honestly forgot.
The hot take was that this is what and I did say it, and I should have given it context because I think if we play well and we don't win anything, I will not call for his head. If we continue to play the way that we're kind of the form we're in right now, with just not being able to create anything, and we end up not winning anything because we go into games and we just hoof the ball around. Yeah, I mean, you've done everything else. You can't now. You got to get it over this hump, and he just might not be that guy. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into this. It's not as it's not as simple as no trophies. He's got to go. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole again.
All right, last hot take. We signed Julian Alvarez in the summer, but he replaces Ben White as our backup right back. All right. Anyways, that's
crappy cardio. I could see this happening for sure.
Oh my, yeah, right. Anyway, again, if you've made it this far, God bless. We're going on 2.5 hours, but this is good. I kind of like this. Kind of like one day, hit it all, hit it and quit it, baby. Hit it and quit it. Ryan, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and they all fucking stink. Write that down.
No, yeah, but yours are just wrong though. So that's like content.
Thanks, buddy. This was great, man. Always love chatting footy and Arsenal with you, sir. You are welcome back anytime that we do this. If you are new around here, please drop a subscription, drop a like on the show. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a program. Not that we're doing a lot of them these days. Might change. We'll see. I make you no promises. There's no outro video tonight. It's just going to be us looking awkwardly into the camera and saying goodnight, everybody. Oh, do it. Go on. There you go.
Like this? Like this?
Yep.
There you go.
Deuces.